so
nice
look, I said this to everybody before. I kind of organized this whole shit, so there's a lot of us. Obviously, there's 8 people. It's gonna be like I fucking go on forever, so it's gonna be too much with all of us talking. So I'm gonna mostly facilitate, and it's kind of softball topics. I told all of you guys. The two broad topics are: will you vote for Biden in 2024, and was the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago justified? Instead of just jumping right in like that, I think what I'm going to do is maybe give each of you guys like a chance to introduce yourselves, and then after we do that, maybe I'll just ask like a series of questions related to each topic. We'll go through it like that, and you don't have to. Each of you don't have to answer one at a time. That's going to be kind of annoying, but we'll kind of like, I'll throw the question out. Whoever wants to go for it, go for it. Not too many rules. Obviously, no TOS shit. Like, please, it's fucking so obvious, but like, don't do that. And if it gets out of hand with people talking over each other, I have to like screech a little bit. But otherwise, I'm pretty much like fair game for however this goes. So, somebody online, why don't you start? Introduce yourself, your political persuasion, what your channel's about, etc.
Appreciate it, On Smoker. Thank you so much for inviting me, by the way. Relatively new to your side of the internet, so to speak, but I'm really glad to be here. I'm Somebody Online here on Twitch. I'm also on YouTube as Somebody Online, and on Twitter as Some Dummy Online, because that's where I say my dumber things. I'm trying to reach radical anti-centrism. I'm trying to encourage people to try to find that beautiful understanding where we have this radical empathy. We come to understand the people on the other side and why they're saying the ridiculous things that they seem to keep saying. It has something to do with polysemy. We're trying to achieve a BOEM dialogue on my channel. I host panels on Thursday. We play D&D on Wednesdays. Then I go on other folks' panels throughout the rest of the week. I'm here today to talk with you folks. As far as these particular topics, I'm really interested to get into the weeds on it, so to speak, because these are some pretty weedy topics, if you ask me.
All right, good shit, man. Thank you. Manara, why don't you go ahead?
What's up, everybody? I'll start with my name. Everybody pronounces it wrong. AlManaraReport. It comes from AlManara, which means the lighthouse. Here to guide people to the truth. We've noticed that a lot of people now on YouTube, especially, they call themselves lefties. We believed that we were lefties, but apparently we are not. We've been labeled right wing, and every time we have a discussion with anybody we believe he's on the left, or he says he's on the left, we are labeled the right wingers. So we are here to just provide truth. We are not going to be silenced really easily, and it's very clear that there's an agenda happening of silencing people, as we have seen with Andrew Tate. And I'm glad that this is unraveling, and I doubt anybody can win a debate saying that they're going to vote for Democrats happily this year or next year. And yeah, that's it. AlManaraReport, find us on YouTube. We've been here for a month, and we're rising.
All right. Manara is indeed rising. Justin, why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Hey, my name is JustinFREAKIN. I host the Troll Patrol Live. It is a nightly news show, Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all those channels. On Friday night, I host a comedy show called the Friday Night Freak Show at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then I do different YouTube videos like the Freaking News, stuff like that, little comedy videos. I consider myself a leftist. I'm probably center left, more into electoral politics, that sort of thing.
All right, killer, man. Thank
you. Also, like, I'm very interested to talk to the guys next to me. Both of them seem like a lot of fun.
To be honest, you look like you're the most fun, man.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I don't know if anyone holds a candle to you with the fun factor, but we're gonna try to keep up. But I appreciate you coming, man. Nikki, go ahead.
My name's Nikki. I have a stream, RadicalLeftistAgenda. If you want to know about it, come to it. That's it.
All right, short and sweet, and RollinRa.
All right, cool. So I'm RollinRa on Twitch. I describe myself as a volunteer, gamer, comedian, artist, lover, Christian, male model, athlete, child genius, and pro bono bodyguard for my mother on Sundays. And I will always introduce myself like that for all of these panels. I tend to lean... Yeah, not corny. It's cool, and you know it. I tend to lean conservative on social issues, and I tend to be progressive on economic issues. I mean, my political journey has been all over the place, but at this point, I'm very distrustful of Republicans and Democrats in general, so I look forward to the discussion. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Non-Smoker.
Absolutely, my friend. Wouldn't have it any other way. Schlatski, go ahead.
I'm Schlatski. I'm just a guy in space. I lean very far left. I found out what I was when I learned what the meaning of tanky was. So, right on. Just follow me on Schlatski. Twitch.tv/Schlatski if you want. That's all.
All right, very cool. And Sondsol, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Sondsol. I like to argue with people on the internet. I like to play video games. I'm very bad at the second one. I was going to say that I might be the most right-wing person here since everyone else is a socialist, but there was that one guy that said he was socially conservative. I'm generally associated with being like a sock dim, very interested in economics, philosophy, and shit like that. So.
Sweet. All right, cool. Fairly, look, not the most diverse panel ever, I gotta admit, but it should be interesting anyway. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna pose a question, and I'm kind of just like gonna throw it open to the floor. Whoever wants to pick it up and run with it, it's on you. But my
Non-Smoker, did you want a chance to introduce yourself?
No, I'm trying to stay. Okay, yeah, good point. What terrible teaching practice. First thing you do in teaching is you demonstrate what to do, then you tell everybody else to do it. Yeah, I'm Non-Smoker. I'm Marxist-Leninist Twitch streamer, all around nice, lovely man, and also high school teacher. And I'm new to the Twitch game, recently made affiliate, trying to grow at all costs, by any means necessary. So, with that being said, the first question I want to pose to you guys is, did you vote for Biden in 2020? And if you did, why? And if you did not, why didn't you? Or who did you vote for? So, anybody?
We're talking primary or general?
General election.
Yes, and it will be the first and last time I give Democrats a chance.
Wait, can I guess who voted and who didn't?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I say the only one that didn't vote is Schlatski. That's it, really.
You're wrong. I voted.
Damn it!
So, Schlatski, you voted for Biden and RollinRa.
Oh, no, not for Biden. No, I voted in general.
Okay.
Definitely not for Biden, no. Are you kidding?
Why not for Biden?
I remember Biden.
Statements.
I remember who the guy is. And he said nothing will fundamentally change, and that's not what I want. I want things to fundamentally change.
I understand that, but given the option, you either have Pepsi or Coke, you don't get a pick spot.
You'll all follow me.
I cannot.
I don't have
voted
for
sparkling water.
Die of
I threw my vote away.
Like being dehydrated.
Follow
you
me.
just choose not to fucking drink either.
Did you have any
That's the
choice?
Coke
I mean, it's
We'll all
one thing
follow
if
me.
you
Aren't
live in
they
a
killing
space
us
where
anyway?
not having
That's being
anything.
Wait, can I say something? Why are we starting the conversation with that only two options? And if you're gonna say there is no third option, then why is the Forward Party getting assimilated together right now?
The Forward Party!
I'm talking about yeah. Look, the Forward
Forward
Party.
Party is like Bitcoin. It is a scam.
There is more than two options, and I'll tell you why. Because the Forward Party is proving that there's more than two options.
No,
Yeah,
there's not.
The Forward Party is
No,
proving
there's
that.
not. No.
What
Win some
percentage of the
local
vote for the
elections,
Forward
win some
Party?
statewide
Yeah.
elections, and then talk to me. Fuck
Yeah.
off. No.
What
Tell
I'm
me
saying-
there's a third party option.
What-
Win
percentage of the
locally, and
Wait.
then we'll talk about a third option.
All right, wait.
What
Hold on,
percentage of the vote did
Hold
the
on.
Forward Party get?
So
That's the thing. What I'm saying.
Okay,
You
hold on,
are-
wait.
You're
Manara,
assuming,
Manara.
wait, give me a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go because I want to hear you first. Then I want to hear Justin. Then I want to hear Sondsol. So go ahead.
To me,
Who,
okay.
me?
So,
No.
Manara.
oh yeah. So,
Sorry, I didn't hear.
all I'm saying is you guys are starting the conversation assuming there's only two possible ways, and you're not
There is.
allowing the discussion. Wait, can I finish? You're not allowing the discussion to move forward further. You're assuming you need maybe 50% to win a third party. You really just need 10%, and we have all the votes we need to move one of the two parties to our side. So you're coming from the assumption that we need maybe 30% to 50% of the votes.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
All right, Justin, go ahead.
Because that's the truth.
Wait, can you explain why you only need 10% of the vote?
So why do you
Follow
need
me.
50%?
Thank
Do you
you.
have any choice?
need a
Why do you need
Teleport.
50%.
college.
You know that you don't need
50%
50%.
or anything.
I'll explain
wait,
this
wait.
to you guys. Listen up. I'm
That's
only
what
gonna
I'm
say this
asking,
once. Listen up. So this is what's gonna happen. So there's two parties. They need half of the country only votes. Only half the country votes. Okay, they're gonna need as many votes as they want. It's usually split 50-50 every single time. Every time we've seen this.
What? You're an idiot.
Can
What?
you shut up for a second? Can you
All
shut
right,
up for a
wait,
second?
wait. Justin, let him
So-
finish. I'm gonna let you go next because you obviously have an
So
opinion.
the
So,
idea-
Manara,
The
finish.
idea is, this is my idea. You get door 2024. Shut the fuck up. Don't say shit. You get door 2024. Shut the fuck up, dude. You get door 2024.
All right,
He
Manara.
runs on a popular.
Manara, they
runs
are
on a
shutting
pop-
up at this point.
Okay,
I'm
he runs on a
sorry,
populist.
because it's Manara.
Listen up, boys. He and again, girl. He runs on a populist platform, gets 10% of the vote. Now he gets to tell lefties, Democrats, hey, Democrats, listen, I have 10% of the vote. You need to give me Medicare for all. You need to give me $25 minimum wage, or you don't get this 10%. You go to the Republicans and say, hey, Republicans, I have 10% of the vote. You give me Medicare for all. You give me what I want, or you don't get this 10%. And politics, if you know anything about politics, they're gonna need that.
You don't know shit about politics.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Okay, wait.
Explain.
So-
Go ahead, explain.
So, Justin, go ahead, because I can tell you're itching to speak.
Come on, Justin, quit laughing. Come on. That's a defense mechanism when you laugh. You're
That dude's an idiot. Like what the fuck? No wonder you get called a right winger. I just call you an idiot.
That's not very nice.
All right.
But like he's talking about Jimmy Dore getting 10% of the vote. What kind of fantasy world do you live in?
The world where we make them suffer and force them to make concessions that we want.
Come on, I want to hear this.
So-
I wanna
Oh,
hear
yeah.
this.
All right, wait.
Roland,
Here's the question.
Wait,
Okay.
wait.
So
Roland,
here's
don't
the
give it-
question.
Hold
Here's
on.
the question. So if you're saying that like by getting 10% of the vote that magically somehow we'll be able to force them to do something
Magically.
magically, yes, because
Okay, how do you get the
one-
10%? How are you gonna get the 10%? You're gonna go to the voodoo
That's a
ministry?
good question for
No, you're gonna ask.
That's
You're gonna
actually
talk
an
to
amazing
2024.
question. That's an
You're
I
gonna
don't
talk
think
to
America
Dore.
can afford
answer.
handouts
Okay,
now.
you're gonna talk
That
to
will
Dore.
lead to
10% of the
recession.
fucking
Probably.
vote, because
Oh,
number
then
one-
what the
number
hell's
It
the
already
forward
is,
party
T-Bird.
running?
Oh,
Why is
that's
the
a really good question.
If there's
Why does
no
the Green
reason for
Party
them-
run, why does the Green Party run? Why does the Libertarian Party run? They
No,
don't get 10% of the fucking national election. Like any fucking time that they run.
No, if
it's
you-
a
Like
play.
maybe
Yeah,
like local elections, or maybe like one or two politicians in the House or the Senate. Like there might be like one or two that run as a libertarian or like in the Green Party and get elected. But like that's not what happens on average. For it, like the idea that Jimmy Dore is going to get 10% of what I assume you're talking about is the like primary votes of the Democratic primaries, and then be able to boss around the Democrat establishment is just like fucking laughable.
All right, Sondsol,
Why-
interesting
why-
point. Interesting point.
Which is why I was laughing so hard.
All right, so somebody online, I could tell you had something to contribute, but you were kind of getting drowned out.
Wait, can I respond? Can I respond really quickly? I mean,
I just want somebody online to give his piece, and then Manara will go right back to you.
So I do want to kind of build a bridge toward AlManara. I think that if we're looking at like a parliamentary system where we have a more established group where there are three parties, you have to think in terms of coalition governments. And if you can get as large as 10% of the voting bloc, it'll definitely give you sway in terms of forming a coalition. Unfortunately, though, because we don't form coalitions in Congress, and when we like vote our chief executive, it's a direct, it's the Electoral College. There is no negotiations or government choosing in the process. The only result is you're going to end up splitting the vote for the Democrats, and you're going to end up ceding power to the right.
Okay, Manara, go ahead.
see, that's uh-oh, something happened to my but that's the argument that they want to do. They want to make it seem like, oh, if I vote for third party, I'm voting for a Republican, but that's not true. That my strategy says that I'm not going to vote for either party. I'm going to lose no matter what. I know I'm going to lose, but you have to but if you don't vote for me, I'm not voting. So if you don't give me the concessions that I need, then 10% of us are not voting. So yeah, maybe it is
If you know you're gonna
primary.
lose, why are you so loud? Why are you?
Because it's
vocal?
Because
You're not
that's
gonna
how
get
you
10%
pressure.
of the
That's how you
vote.
pressure. That's how you get pressure. That's how you pressure.
I can agree with
No,
you
that's
on
how you
that.
get ignored.
hold on, JustinFREAKIN, just to be like ultra clear.
They can't ignore you.
There are Democrats who run knowing that they're not going to win the primary, so that they can push their pet project forward, right? Like we saw
That's
that
different
with,
than a third party.
Well, no, it certainly is, which is why I don't agree with his point. But like, just to the idea that like you can run with the intention, without the intention of actually fully winning. You might like still try, but like you're probably not going to win, but you're going to push forward your policies. You could arguably say like Bernie was really, really successful at this because he's pushed the Democratic Party
Punisher, I should
significantly
mention that,
further
right?
left than they were in the 26 or like pre-2016, right? Like Medicare for all is like now a national talking point, right? People are
How
talking
did he
about,
push
like,
it? How did he push it to the left? Can you explain?
Yeah,
Absolutely, but he worked within their system.
We're not
Yeah,
talking about Medicare for all anymore. There is no discussion about Medicare for all. What are you talking
Can
about?
I
Absolutely is,
explain
because
something
people
from
talk about
Marinero?
Medicare for all the fucking time.
Hold on, let
but
me-
here's the
can I
thing,
make a
like,
point,
really quick, I just
Marinero?
want to answer his question. So he said, how did Bernie change the discourse in the Democratic Party? How did he push them left? Well, if you look at the policies that the Democratic Party held pre-2016 and you look at them now, they're much more in line with like the progressive agenda. Are they one-to-one? Absolutely not, because most of the people in the United States aren't progressives, right? But
I would argue-
they definitely
I would
did
argue they align with the Democratic agenda.
option. They did get Medicare for all or a public option on the table to even be discussed, whereas before this wasn't even in our.
Till now, it's not being discussed. The thing is, you assume that
They're
now
not
it's
being
being
discussed.
discussed. Yeah,
not
now
being
you're
discussed
you're
right this
acting like
second.
AOC every day on the vote floor. She comes out and she yells out, "Please, we need Medicare for all." There is no
you're
discussion,
right,
and I
you're
would
right.
argue,
It's not
and
a
I would
discussion
argue.
right now.
I would argue it's the Democratic agenda that's being pushed, and that's why they're giving Biden the progressives. It's not really the progressive agenda. It's the Biden
Well,
agenda
if you
that's
look
getting
at
pushed.
the
And
yes,
even when
yes,
Biden,
Biden's
and wait,
agenda.
can I finish? So when
Wow, this guy
Biden
must be a
gets
fan of infrared. Holy shit!
Listen,
No, you're
so
totally right.
Biden-
They're not
Biden-
talking about it
when-
right now.
when-
They're
when
not talking
Biden's
about it
agenda
right now.
when
They're
Biden's
not
agenda gets passed,
All
he
right.
gives it to Joe
Wait, wait.
Manchin because Joe Manchin is the president.
Yeah, and the
It's
bill
to
that
Okay,
Joe
they
okay,
just
Manchin.
passed,
wait,
and
wait,
the bill
wait.
that
You
they
guys are
just
about to-
passed under Joe Manchin
There-
is
yeah.
like unbelievable.
That's not
Wait, wait, wait.
progressive. That's not
Hold
progressive.
on. Hold
Do you
on.
even know what
God,
was in the
hey.
most recent like bill? It was unbelievable.
How's that
when it
progressive?
come-
Stop. Okay. All right, that works. So look,
Sondsol, you're saying a lot of words for nothing.
No.
Mara.
Mute them.
I can't say anything if you keep on screeching.
Yeah, chill. All right, guys, look. So you two have had a lot of mic time, especially Manara. So
Sorry, yeah.
I want to get around a little bit more. Nikki, do you have any view on this?
No, did not vote for Biden and vote for third party. But that's only because I would have voted for Bernie, but I'm just not into Biden. I know that people were gonna say that, oh, you can't vote for the third party, but I prefer in that situation. My feelings are, I know a lot of people will say, oh, you stole the vote, you gave the vote away to the other party, but if that person didn't earn the vote, then they didn't get it. So, I think even if they don't win, your candidate doesn't win, you at least like send a message like, hey, we're not fucking with this shit anymore. We don't want Democrats, we don't want Republicans, we want something out of this shit. So that's all. I think my headphone died.
Sounds reasonable enough. Justin, you have any response to that? It sounds contrary to what you were saying before.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You said that you have to earn
like
the vote,
that
and if you
too.
don't earn the vote, that you're
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. But like, the point I wanted to make to Marinara was the fact that like Ralph Nader was an American.
Hey, only I get to call him marinara. That's our thing. Can't take that.
What?
I didn't even know that was a thing. I just like it's that obvious of a joke.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
not original. Yeah, you're not
My
original.
apologies.
You're not original.
My-
You know
My
you're.
apologies. But here's the thing: is like Ralph Nader was an honest-to-God American hero that ran as a third party multiple times, and he couldn't garner like more than like 1% of the vote. And you're wanting to say some idiotic, barely popular on YouTube streamer is gonna run and get 10%? It's fucking laughable. Just
I think it's a
the
troll,
premise
to be
is
honest.
completely off.
Can I ask you a question? How many American voters vote every year? Me and
about
Roland,
100
we punched the numbers, about 150 million, about half of them. And how many subscribers do you think Jimmy Dore has? He already has.
Oh
1%.
my God, you're going by
gosh.
subscribers.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I
exactly.
think I'm subscribed.
What?
to
What?
Jimmy
Look,
Dore.
I have a question. Why do we expect
Massive
everything to change if we
revolution.
keep playing their fucking game? Nothing's gonna change if you
Interesting
keep
take.
playing their game. It's not going to
Don't
work.
totally
You know, though,
disagree.
that $10,000 student loan forgiveness,
I think a
that was a
general strike
calculation
is a step
just
in
to
the right
stay in
direction.
power. They only did that. They didn't give you more.
Help
They didn't give you
so
less. They
many
chose
people.
an exact amount to stay in power. It's all about currying favor to stay in power. They don't care
I
about
want to counter that.
it. They do not
I
care.
want to counter the narrative. You're
And until
saying
you
that
start to make them
things
suffer and
will
withhold
change.
your vote, nothing's going to change. You're naive.
Let me
Sondsol, that was-
tell you the opposite is actually true. That you actually need to vote and vote more. And I will give you the perfect
Yes,
example.
vote third party. You're right. Vote
Hold
third
on,
party.
dude.
Not for
Hold
Democrats
on.
or
Let me
Republicans.
talk. The current Republican Party is ran by the nut job religious evangelical sect. They were the outskirts, like the progressive movement currently is in the Democratic Party back in the 70s in the Nixon administration. And they worked at it, and built a coalition, and they kept it. Frank Zappa was singing about their coalition coming to power in the mid-1980s. It took fucking time. You can't vote Democratic once and expect
So how
it to
did they-
solve all your problems. That's
How did they
magical
work on it?
Party. It's
thinking.
one
How
party.
did
I've
they-
been voting Democrat my whole life. It hasn't solved
You're going to
anything.
continue to lose their game. It's
Once
their
again, I
game.
just told you the metamorphosis of the Republican Party over 50 fucking years, and you're telling me like, oh, I voted my whole life.
What do you
for this.
think? We have to wait 50 years?
Yes,
They go back and forth.
fine.
Democrats, Republicans,
No.
Democrat, Republican. Don't get shit, don't get more shit. Blame the other one, blame the other one. I mean,
Yeah,
if
hold
we're-
on,
if
hold
you
on.
gotta
If you
do-
look at all
on.
of the bills, hold on. This is something that triggers the fuck out of me. When we talk about like we don't get anything when there's the Democrats in office. Well, we can look at some of the things that we get. Like number one, the shit that Biden has been doing has been ultra fucking based. Even if you don't like know a whole lot about it, look at all of these spending bills. The most recent one,
Let's look at the most recent one.
Do you
Yeah,
guys?
Hey,
hold
stop,
on,
stop, stop.
hold on.
Stop,
I
let's
literally,
look at it.
stopped for a little bit, so I
Yeah,
can
let him
talk, all
finish,
right?
let him
I just want to
finish.
like get this out there, right? We can look at the kinds of things that the Biden administration has done, right? Number one, the Inflation Reduction Act is like an amazing, like I don't know why it's the Inflation Reduction Act. Maybe there's like something that has to do with inflation in there that I missed, right? But it seems to be mostly like a green energy act.
Hey,
like
why?
it is like
Why?
because they have to shove a
Be
whole
careful.
bunch of shit. Wait, I don't
very
know.
careful.
I don't understand what the why you're asking. me.
It's really not a good
Which,
bill.
what are you asking?
Why
me
do you keep telling them to be careful? You think you're some tough guy or something?
If they knew what they were
Man,
doing to
Well,
begin with,
no,
would we-
Because we looked into
What
it.
do you-
Because we looked into.
if they
Okay,
knew what
so
they
it
were doing to
works.
begin with, would we need an Inflation Reduction Act? If they knew
yes,
what they were
because
doing,
every
to begin
single
with?
every
They don't know
single
what
major
they're
country,
doing, but
yes,
they don't.
every single major
They're all
country
fake.
in the world right
They have
now
no
is experiencing every
Guys,
single
this is
major
like
country in the
music to
world
my
is
ears, by the way.
inflation, except for Japan.
Because of them.
Aren't we
No, not
experiencing
because
the worst
of the,
inflation?
not
Because of
America.
sanctions.
Yes.
Or some
No,
of
it's
the
not
worst.
because of what?
Ho, ho, ho,
fucking
no,
sanctions are
no,
you
we're like
talking
the middle of the
about?
pack
No.
of inflation. No, we're
Yeah,
not
like-
nowhere
Well,
near
yeah,
the
I'm sure
worst.
you
We are
Drive
not
it up
like
and
nearly as bad.
Can
as
people
other
know
countries.
what they're talking about before having opinions? God
Justin,
damn.
So
Justin.
hold on, really quick. I just want to get like one point out, and then I was going to throw it back to everybody else because I don't
Alright,
want to
go
like
ahead.
hog the mic. Okay, so like Democrats do give a shit, right? Like we can look at the Obama years. We didn't get like
True,
like an
Songbird.
amazing like fucking like a UBI
Also
or
good to
fucking
see you.
Medicare for all, but we did get the ACA, which got 20 million people healthcare. Now there are problems with the ACA, and you can definitely criticize that shit, but that means healthcare for people that would not
24
otherwise
million,
get it.
Sondsol.
So yeah,
Me
sorry,
not
about that.
voting
It
for
was
them.
doing-
is
Well, hold on,
criticizing
hold on.
them.
I didn't finish. When you look at the Biden stuff, right?
because they
All
actually-
of the fucking, all of the spending bills that he's doing right now are large-scale investments that are supposed to help the poorest in our nation over the next 10 years. No, you're not going to see immediate shit because unless you're looking to get like, $10K in your bank account every month from the Democrats, you're not going to like feel super happy about this. But this is long-term investments into our infrastructure, into education, into, like basically every welfare program that we offer right now. Like this has been ultra fucking based for those that are the poorest among us.
So how can you advocate for Medicare for all and say ACA is a good program? I mean, you're
Well,
just
I'm
showing your
not advocating
hypocrisy,
for the
my brother.
Medicare. No, I'm not.
My brother-
I'm
my
not
brother, you said
advocating
we-
for the Medicare for all.
You just said it's a great anyways, look, the
Justin,
It's
thing
something that
is,
people
man,
are
everything you
talking
said,
capital
everything you said was
expense.
wrong. Inflation Reduction
Also
Act is a
true.
No, it wasn't.
Mylan Meow,
horrible piece
very
of
based
legislation.
chats.
It's going to increase
tell
enforcement
me where I was wrong.
on working class people. They're going to hire more.
What
Oh, you're
It's
doing the
actually-
IRS
it's actually-
fucking bullshit, the
Can you shut
right wing
the fuck- can I
propaganda.
finish
That's why
my
people
word?
think
Are you
you're a
making a
right
joke or
winger.
something? It's real
It's
life.
87,000
Can I finish a word?
fucking
Okay, wait.
workers over
Hold
10
on.
years. You're an
Okay, so
idiot. You
Sondsol-
don't know what
to
you're
Sondsol
talking
speaks
about.
for
Oh man, it's like going back to
If I
school.
wanted to hear Tucker Carlson talking points, I just
class,
turn on Fox
class,
News.
please.
What the hell?
All right,
Okay.
hold
Let him
on.
finish. Let him
Wait,
finish.
hold on. Okay, so Sondsol, actually, your comment was really good because it'll help me transition into the next question, actually. So, and you know, Manara, you'll get your chance. Justin, you'll get your chance. My next question was, we're nearing 2 years into Biden's first term, right? Pretty much around the corner. My next question to you guys would be, do you regret whatever decision you made in 2020? Do you regret not voting? Do you regret voting for Biden? Do you regret voting third party? Do you regret voting for, you know, the other one? Or any decision based on the legislation you've seen so far? Floor is yours.
I mean,
I
I regret
zero
voting for Biden
regrets.
and thinking that
I've
I would.
never-
No regrets.
I've never been more proud of my vote, not voting for Biden or Trump.
I was more proud of my 2016 vote for Jill Stein, but
Interesting. RollinRa,
yeah.
so could you care to explain? Because I'm surprised that you voted for Biden. Surprised to hear that.
I did, yeah. I mean, because I was on. I mean, I would actually watch the Son, Bosch. I would even watch Sondsol, and I was on the
They're all
progressive
screaming,
liberal
bro.
train until Biden got into office, and I made it very clear that they were never going to actually do anything that they said they would, and it's just been getting worse and worse. So I feel like I was duped, and now that's going to be the first and last time I vote for the Democrats.
Man, I don't know what you were expecting though. Like, presidential policies take like 2 or 3 years before you actually see the effect in the economy. You can't judge Biden by the last 2 years because honestly, that's the Trump economy that you were living in. I can point to his trade wars with China over steel. I can point to Canadian lumber tariffs, and that was one of the big causes of inflation.
Having excuses to print money for all their fucking criminal friends. That's all it's about.
What?
They want to stay in power so they can have control of
You
the
just
money.
said print money, but Biden has reduced the deficit by like $1 trillion.
Fucking true.
It's not printing money and giving it to their criminal friends when they spend $50 billion on weapons.
You just said print money, and Biden has reduced the deficit by $1 trillion.
Yes, it's all about paying off
the
the debt.
deficit or the debt?
It's a criminal enterprise.
He
Well,
reduced
the
deficit.
debt's never going
It's still
away.
negative,
People
isn't
that
it?
are always like,
It
the
doesn't
debt,
matter.
the debt, don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because
Yeah.
the debt is basically the money that's in circulation. Can you guys please learn what you're talking about before having an opinion?
The
Justin, I think you're the only one that
Wildly
doesn't know what you're
negative,
talking
right?
about.
Hold on.
They're
Yeah,
both
Justin,
going
I think
down.
you're I mean, I'm 100% serious. I think
Justin
Justin is the only one who doesn't know anything that he's talking about here. Every time I speak, he tries to silence
no,
me.
he's actually
Sondsol
cited
comes
more
here and
numbers
says
than
that
you did.
Democrats have been the most progressive in the world.
That you didn't know about, like the fact that we've reduced our deficit by like a fuckload of money, right? Like,
What deficit? What does it matter when the military budget has been bubbled more than ever? The inflation has exploded more than ever. Gas prices are through the roof. What does that matter? to
That's
me?
called moving the goalpost fallacy.
No, it's called your argument
budget.
is shit fallacy.
No.
It's called
Really,
you're
Budget's
strawmanning
negative
the shit out of it.
6,000, and you've
What
improved
you're
it by
doing is, like,
1,000.
you're
It's still
talking-
negative 5,000, right?
What you,
Like,
no, hold on, really quick. No, like, what does that matter? So what you're
matters
doing
a lot.
is
Sondsol, how do you
what
feel
you're
the
doing is,
reduction
like,
of the
oh my
deficit? How do you
fucking
feel that
God.
reduction of the deficit? How do you feel it? How do you feel it? Do you feel it in your gas prices, in the milk, in the gallon of milk? How do you feel that deficit reduction? How do you feel it?
The
Can you explain?
deficit reduction, because okay, so like we're talking about like soccer, and then you're bringing in rules from
Let me have my
baseball.
opinion.
That's, like,
Your
what you're doing.
argument
No,
is
no,
I
no,
don't
flawed.
think
because you're
printing
talking.
money
No,
and
that's
fixing the
you
deficit
just
bring
are
about-
made a
when you
loaded
talk- no, no,
question
no,
fallacy.
holy
Don't
fucking
call
shit.
anybody's argument flawed, you stupid fuck.
Okay, wait, hold on, Justin.
Hey,
Let me just like,
you
get this
guys.
out there. When we
Don't
talk
violate
about, like,
the laws of
inflation-
logic and then accuse other people of fucking committing fallacies, you stupid
When-
piece of shit.
When you talk about inflation and then you like bring up the deficit as like as proof of that, like
You're the one that brought
talking
it.
about. No, okay, I talked about okay, I don't think I brought up the deficit. I think that was Justin, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so like, holy fuck. Let's start at the beginning. When we talk about like the things that Biden is doing right now, the inflation, number one, is not on our lawmakers. It's not on their
on their doorstep. They didn't fucking start that shit, right? This is happening all over the world. If it was only happening in the United States, right, like that would be one thing. But we're having this all over the world. So there's no policy that they can enact unilaterally that will get rid of all the inflation that we're experiencing right now, all right? But
can't they do something like put like
yeah, they have done something.
do rationing or caps on stuff?
There's no because they ration anything. That would
Biden already came out and said we're going to experience food shortages, you guys. I don't know if you know this.
No, that's
and
possible.
if he's going to say that we're going to experience food shortages, we need to really figure some shit out. And it seems like nothing. It seems like nothing.
Because we have supply chain issues. That's what's driving.
So we
what have they done to fix that?
ration it. It doesn't matter why.
Reduce the deficit. Does that help our supply chain?
It might help the supply chain, yes.
Rationing isn't necessary. If you have all the money, you can get all the goods. If you have no money, you cannot get shit.
No, it has nothing to do with the money. It has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with the fact that we have to. Oh my god! Like the supply chain shit isn't a matter of we don't have enough money to get these supplies or like anything like that.
Yes, but people, whatever supplies we have left, right? There's going to be a certain amount left, and whatever's left, people are going to jack up the price and extort people from their money. And poor people will not be able to get it. We should have.
Yes, that's what inflation is.
Yes, we should have price caps, and we should also do rationing for people, like they did in World War II. Come on.
No, because we're not in a World War II situation. No,
are we not in a world war right now? Are you serious? No. Are you serious? We're not fighting a proxy war.
Wait, hold on.
Is that what's
one second.
going
I need to pick up my headphones. Wait, no, I don't hear any bombs dropping outside, so I don't think that we're in a world war.
Yeah, that was good.
There was no bombs dropping outside in World War II either.
We're in a world war, okay? So like,
that was funny. That was funny.
What we need to do is we need to go and we need to use the tools that actually fight inflation. What are the tools that actually fight inflation? Raising the interest rate at the Fed, that'll fight inflation. We've done that 2 or 3 times now. Our inflation rate has to.
Talking about fighting inflation. They're the cause of the inflation.
I'm going to finish it.
They're responsible. They're responsible for everything. They're Washington, the world's most powerful entity. If there's a global problem,
literally control everyone in the entire world. Was Alex Jones right? We actually have a one world government. Holy fucking shit! You're blowing my fucking mind. There are things that we can do. There are things that we can.
Washington doesn't have to have all the power that they have and then not be responsible for global mistakes. No, it's their fault. And it's their fault because they don't give a fuck. It's a kleptocracy.
Does the United States control China? Does the United States control Russia?
Which of these problems are caused by China?
I mean, part of the supply chain issue is caused by China because they have the zero China or the zero COVID policy. Yeah, that's one reason. Right?
Yeah, because they can't get along with China.
Did China force America to invest in China or to put all their supply line or supply whatever?
I am not high
getting along with China.
I don't understand how you guys
get high.
I feel like we're talking about like 12 different things at once. What the fuck are you saying? What do you mean? Like, is it our fault that we put so much of our supply chain in China?
It's their fault that they suck at diplomacy. Yes.
No, this has nothing to do with diplomacy. This is a domestic policy.
When you're talking about international trade, diplomacy has nothing to do with international trade.
This is China's domestic policy. Do you know what the zero COVID policy is?
I don't.
So why are we relying on China's domestic policy?
That doesn't absolve them of
responsibility. Because we have a
50 years of neoliberalism.
Yeah, that's why I'm not voting for liberals anymore.
Guess what? China has a globalized economy too. So if you're a
you know the difference
get
between
real on board with it real fucking quick.
Okay, so just clarifying a couple things. I mean, it's worth mentioning that although inflation is not, by any means like a record high, it's significantly high, or it's increased significantly in the last 5 years. So for all intents and purposes for us, it's up in a manner that we notice it. Another thing to mention is COVID zero policy in China, whatever your thoughts are on it, does affect the supply chain. So that is something that we all have to acknowledge if we're being honest. Both of those things are just factual. SomeBuddyOnline, I didn't hear you in the middle of all the ruckus. I just see you with is that a parrot? I see you with the bird. So do you regret your decision, whatever it was, in the 2020 general election?
Yeah, this has been kind of a contentious panel, I've got to say. It's really hard to get a bead on a number of the folks that are here. I've kind of got a general line on where most folks are coming from in their political ideologies. Personally speaking, I did vote for Biden. I'm very happy that I voted for Biden. I've told many people in the past I am a real Republican from the good old-fashioned days. John McCain, oh my goodness, I wish we could have voted for him, but we got Trump, and so I voted for the only good Republican option we had, which was Joe Biden. And he did a great job. And I think that most folks out there don't realize that most of the people that are on the Democratic Party are relatively conservative. They like the way that America works. They like the fact that, like, we're one of the world's most powerful nations. They like that our economy is extremely strong. They like that we have a greater, like, standard of living than most of the rest of the world. And they're trying to maintain that in the best way that they can without, like, stepping all over the civil liberties of everyone else around the world. And I think that Joe Biden has done a fantastic job of doing everything that he can. I understand the communists in the group wish that we were like having a communist revolution, but we weren't voting like communism versus fascism, regardless of how much of the fact that the marketing was pitched that way. We were voting, do we keep America the way that it was, or do we go down this new direction with Donald Trump? And I'm pretty happy with the direction we went down.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I feel like a lot of people have framed 2020 as the election in which we had to defeat fascism, and I feel like I've had that election like 5 times in my fucking life now. So, I mean, I've fought fascism longer than the Allies did at this point, so...
doesn't mean that it's not true, though, either.
I mean, I really don't understand why do these people can say...
You don't understand a lot of things.
Like they're... Listen, Justin, they act like they're...
What you don't understand could fill a fucking warehouse.
All right, wait, Justin, let him finish, Go ahead.
Amazon distribution center.
All right, go ahead.
They act like they're socially liberals, right? And then they say, I'm so happy I voted for Biden. But what the hell did Biden do to you? Look, he took away your abortion even, like... What the hell? Like, he didn't do nothing for
Biden did not take away abortion. If you think Biden took away abortion, you can fucking cut this dude out. That's the dumbest thing.
Let me finish one word. You see how he interrupted every single word?
It wasn't his party. The Federalist Society took away abortion.
This guy interrupts me every single time I speak.
You guys have been both doing it back and forth. I've been trying to be polite and not do it. Look, you see, you're doing it too. You guys all play the same game. It's okay. We can have that kind of a panel, or we can take turns.
Well, I know what I'm talking about, though. I have something worth saying.
Justin,
okay, well,
you said you're so happy to vote the Democrat. Why? What did he do for you? He took away your abortion. He increased the military.
No, he didn't. He had nothing to do with the abortion.
Hold on.
That's the dumbest fucking thing. Do not say that. Seriously, this guy thinks he...
So wait, just
non-smoker.
I need that fucking gavel, man.
Biden took away abortion. You have to admit,
there's the priority speaker option in Discord. You can take advantage of that.
Yeah, you're right. I should be doing that, huh? I just figured I'd yell and everybody would acknowledge me, thus making me feel like I had more control, but I gotta use technology. Listen,
it's an illusion.
So, okay. I just want to say first and foremost that this is exactly the panel I wanted, and I want as much nastiness and vitriol as possible, because that's what people watch for. But I do need the nastiness and vitriol to be spread out enough so that we can hear it. So Manara was kind of going off there. Justin, you were jumping in. I appreciate the back and forth between you guys, but maybe not too much overlapping so we can hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? But Justin, go ahead. It seems like you had a lot of things to say during Manara's rant.
Saying that Biden took away Roe v. Wade is one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard and should disqualify anyone listening to him. Please kick him out because he has nothing to say that is worth anything.
No. Wait, what does the filibuster have to do with
Complete fucking dumbass.
You can't have me here, huh? You can't have
me here. I'm not scared of you. You just are an idiot. So why would I waste my time?
Wait, I want him to answer this. What does the filibuster have to do with the?
So you're telling me that the Democrats can't get rid of the filibuster right and
no. Tell me what the filibuster. Tell me what the filibuster has to do with Roe.
T-Bird, I try to do this in class, but I'm telling you, man, teenagers do not give a fuck.
And then, if the Democrats, after getting rid of the filibuster, they still can't codify Roe v. Wade, then how the hell are you going to vote for Democrat ever again?
Dude, even if they codified Roe v. Wade, which was just passing a law,
how are you? When Joe Manchin stops, how are you going to be able to
down that law?
The Democrats really
don't have no clue how anything works, man. Like, I feel sorry for you.
They only let it slip through their fingers so they can make it political football. They make everything a political football.
He flexes! Oh my god! Look at this stupid fuck!
The Democrats that made it a political football, or
they sure didn't fight for it.
I mean,
they slipped through their fingers. Oh no! Whoopsies!
I mean,
dropped
like,
that one.
no,
My
I
bad,
agree with
guys.
you. Like, this is something I'll agree with the far lefties on. I think that the Democrats.
Eurasian who? Monero?
Holy fucking shit! I can't speak. Definitely should have tried to codify Roe v. Wade sooner. Now, there were some attempts to try and work towards that, but they didn't have the votes in the House or the Senate.
How do you try to work towards that?
How do you work towards that? The same way that
Like, what's a
Republicans did.
try
No. I can explain to you. It's the exact same way that the Republicans did for the past fucking 60 years, where they slowly built like power throughout all over the fucking government, throughout the court systems, throughout all over the fucking Senate, all over the fucking House, where they got people elected that were like staunchly against abortion, and then you get those people to where there's way more of them than there are of people who are anti-abortion or pro-abortion rather, and then you get someone into office who is in the Supreme Court that will overturn it for you. Yeah, that's how you do it. You use long-term strategies, which it seems like no one here is willing to do. You guys said earlier, I don't know who it was, but someone said, why do we have to wait 50 years? Well, because Republicans do it, and they get everything that they fucking want out of that sort of shit, right? They got rid of fucking abortion because they spent 50 years, a 50-year concerted effort to get rid of women's right to choose. All right.
Okay,
if you guys want to get all the shit that you guys want, a sovereign wealth fund, you want fucking better welfare, you want free college, you want
Sondsol, I have a question.
Put that 50-year effort in. But you guys
What's a higher priority? What's a higher
now.
priority? Abortion or
I
eliminating
don't have
poverty?
50 years, neither does anyone else. I don't know any.
Eliminating poverty is a nebulous
Steph,
and
I
vague
totally
concept
would if
that
it
doesn't
wasn't
have any
8
term.
people,
You
but
need
if
to come
everyone
up with
drops,
something
you're first in
specific,
line.
like maybe a universal
I mean,
basic
like getting
income,
everyone
and let's
fed.
pick a specific amount.
Getting everyone
this is
properly
already too
fed,
much
getting
chaos.
everyone clean water, getting everyone electricity.
So
I need to go on.
free power, free food,
Sending poverty
free
to
housing.
everyone.
Paying for utilities?
Does
Just
not
making
everyone
sure that
deserve
people don't go
electricity?
without.
Not everyone
No, I
deserves-
agree.
not everyone
I want
deserves
all of
clean
those
food,
things,
does
but-
not everyone
but
deserve
how I
clean
would
water,
do it-
not everyone deserve clean clothing.
I don't even know how I got
How do you
here.
exist in this
Oh
world
my
without
God, holy
without
shit.
internet?
No, I agree.
I'm willing to like
I was-
establish
back when
a.
I was a socialist, I was saying that like we should even make it to where internet access is something that the government should pay for. And I'm still like I feel like I might still.
Lots of places already do that too, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Like
but
other
there-
countries
there are a
do
lot
that.
of
does
countries
that.
that are better than the United States, yes. But there are things that we can do that emulates those countries that doesn't involve like literally just like throwing money and like pretending like we're socialists, right? Like we could create a sovereign wealth fund that pays for all of these social programs. But nobody on this panel probably knows what a sovereign wealth
Why
fund
does
is
it?
or how to
No one
implement
pays
those
for
things.
it. Like, it's there available for everyone. Like no one's actually paying for this. We're
Because
not
we live
taxing.
in
We
a
could get
fantasy
Merlin to
fantasy
help.
world where we have money and things have to be paid for because otherwise you just like pretend like things are coming out of fucking nowhere. We're not going to go.
Isn't
from a
that
fucking,
what, like-
Hold on. We're not going to
Who
go
paid for
from a fully
quantitative easing?
capitalist world. We're not going to go from a fully capitalized
I
fucking
didn't
world
say that
to
we
a
were.
socialized world, right?
I didn't say that we are.
Yes, that's the only way that you could pretend that we could just like not
Look,
pay
no
for
one-
something.
No one needs a fully communist or socialist world. We can work with halfway. The only thing is, I still don't understand how Democrats can say they're so happy for voting Democrat. What have
Because
you
the
seen? What
bill-
betterment have you seen? Let's go back to that discussion. What happened to your life? Bills are going up, rent is going up, inflation is going up. Why are you so happy you voted for Biden? Explain to me how.
Actually,
Trump was
inflation's
Sure,
going
so
down. Inflation's going
The rate of
down.
inflation is going
good to
down
hear.
because of the
Look at
policies of
these
the
guys
Biden.
after it hit record.
They're
Hold
only
on,
strangled
said
me
earlier
for a
that
little
it
while.
makes
They're
better.
only strangled me
Wait.
for a little while. I'm happy
Oh
we
shit!
put our hand off your
Gas
neck.
is already cheaper. I forgot. I didn't notice.
All right, quick fact. I referenced this before, guys. It's just
Yeah, I'll
worth
let someone else
mentioning,
talk.
just
I
so
keep
we're
on
not
yelling.
confused. Inflation has gone up in the last 5 years. Now, if it's going down currently, like within the last year, you know, obviously that's Fed policy. There's a number of
The
reasons for
last
that.
month.
But
to be
just
ultra clear, the
Wow.
inflation
Month.
rate has been in the past like since the beginning of, or since the end of Obama, we've had our target inflation has been under what we wanted, right? We want like 2 to 3%, and we've been in like the 1% to 1.5% range, right? Which is under what we want, right? So we've actually had a little bit of wiggle room, but after COVID happened, that's when we saw this like record high fucking inflation. It's only been in the last like 2.5 years.
Yeah, all I'm saying is there's obviously a reason everybody's discussing inflation. That's because, again, in the last 5 years, you've seen an overall uptrend. So you feel it in your wallet, and that's really why everybody's talking about it. Now, it's obvious to me and obvious to anybody who's like kind of informed that there's various reasons for that. You mentioned the supply chain. Obviously, we could talk about the war in Ukraine. There's a lot of reasons. It's not just Fed policy. There's different things that pressure the economy and the money supply and all that kind of stuff. So but let's all agree again, in the last 5 years, there's been an uptrend overall.
Yes.
Okay, and
Absolutely.
lately we've seen a downtrend. So moving on from that, I want to get into Trump. So I know that you guys all know the main topic is the Mar-a-Lago raid, but I really would like to start with January 6th, because I think that's where a lot of I guess that's where the most interest is with Trump, because to me all discussions around him seem to go back to that, and it's a really clear dividing line. People who think that was absolutely an insurrection in which he either led or sort of helped facilitate, or he was just sort of like a dumbass on the sidelines saying like, oh no, don't do it, I love you, and then they went and did it anyway. So do you blame Trump, okay, for facilitating or initiating or instigating the insurrection on January 6th? Or do you think he had zero culpability in the entire event?
I can start. I do not blame Trump. I think it's the will of the American people to protest.
Of course you don't.
You see, you're. I mean,
No, go ahead.
You're embarrassing yourself, Justin. But anyways,
Yeah.
so I believe it was the will of the American people and it was embodied in physically in that riot. So. We can call it a riot if you want, because they did smash windows and stuff, but it did start as a protest. It did start as last time I saw the constitutional right for every American is to riot protest, not riot. So I did agree how it started. I don't know how it ended. I don't know where the hell were the cops, but I just saw it as the will of the people coming together, physically getting embodied. That's I don't blame Trump.
It was nice to see people in the people's house, right?
What a fucking
Cops
idiot.
let them in.
Okay, you have to explain yourself. You can't just call me an idiot and then not.
You
I
can't.
need to embarrass you. I'm gonna
8 million
embarrass you.
more people voted for Biden, and you're like, it's the will of the people. No, it was some spoiled assholes acting like fucking brats that should have been beaten by the cops, but some of the cops were in on it. The executive branch helped have them stand down.
Hold on.
These
no,
are
no,
your
no,
lefties.
no, no,
most certainly
you're
was
both
in
wrong.
on it.
Yeah,
These are your
Nikki's
lefties,
here. You
boys.
see her in the middle.
Was
Listen,
it the
you're
will of the people
both
for
wrong.
Gore too? Hillary.
So here's the thing. When we look at January 6th, like the sad thing about January 6th is there were people that were lied to by Trump and his team for the previous 3 months, saying that the election was stolen. They genuinely thought that. They genuinely. Thought
I don't care if they genuinely thought that. I don't care.
Okay, so here's my question to you, Justin, and I do not support January 6th, just to be super clear, okay? Here's my question to you. If the election was stolen and all of our institutions had broken down, do you not think that it would be justified then to try and take our government back from the people that were trying to steal it?
Sure, but there has to be fucking evidence.
Exactly, that is the difference, right? So we need actual proof that it actually happened, right? They didn't have that, which is why it's an unjustified thing, right? But they're living in.
Not only did they not have that, they were laughed out of every courtroom.
Yes, but that's what's sad about what happened to some of the people at January 6th, right? They were so effectively lied to, right, that they thought that they were saving America, but
they're stupid.
They're ultra fucking
Stupidity
stupid.
is not an excuse.
I don't know. They call the Sri Lankan
I'm not trying to
protesters.
excuse them. I'm
The
just
Sri
trying to say
Lankan protesters. Do you call them stupid? The ones
I
that are
don't know
protesting.
No,
anything
that's
against
about
their
it.
prime
We're
a
talking
minister?
about
false
January 6th
equivalency.
right now. We're
You
talking
are
about-
very fond
the
of
government-
logical fallacies, you
When the
stupid
government
fuck.
fails the people, you have to get ready for the repercussions. I mean, I don't know why you're acting like
Well,
this.
the government
this is
didn't
something
do
you've never
anything
seen.
to the people. The government didn't do anything to the people, unless you're going to say that Trump was the entire government and he lied to people and made them feel like they had to do an insurrection against the United States. In which case, yes, the government did do it.
No,
There was only
The people in
one
January 6th were
branch-
going against the will of the people. They were
They
going
were.
against the will of the people.
They were, but they thought that again, based off of the evidence.
I don't give a
that
shit
they
what they
had-
thought. They're stupid.
I mean,
So I've got a bunch of
understand.
progressives on this panel that think because 10% of the people want a thing, they can enact a radical change to the government. And they have we'll say 30% of the people in the United States are morons that think Trump actually won the election. And that 30% actually honestly thought that. And they thought because they had 30% of the population, they could enact a radical change. it's very similar to the things that I'm hearing on this panel. Again, they were lied to. They were very effectively lied to the point where they believed it the same way that they believed that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior, and they believed that they needed to go and do this because Donald Trump lied to them, and they believe that he speaks the truth.
The truth is the other side
Because they're
lied to them.
stupid.
The truth is, it was the other side that lied to them. The Biden side that told them they're going to get Medicare for all, and they're going to get stuff.
You're an idiot.
They were lied
You're
to
a
from the other
fucking.
side.
Somebody shut
Tell
him
me-
up.
Can someone show me where Biden said that we're going to get you Medicare for all? Man, I would love
Well,
to see
well,
that
the
quote.
progressives said we're going to push him left, and that never happened, anyways. But
Except for the fact that he's passed the most progressive policy.
the lie I'm talking about is the Russia Gate. That's the lie I'm talking about. I'm not talking about.
Oh,
the
great,
Medicare.
great,
I'm
great.
talking about
Love
the
it,
Russia
love
Gate
it.
lie.
Specifically, what was Russiagate? When you say Russiagate, what the fuck are you talking about?
So I'm
Please
talking
tell
about
me.
the Russian collusion that in the end never got Trump indicted in anything ever. And so that's the. that's when the people that's when the
over
people realized that the
100
government is lying to them.
over
and they wouldn't trust
100
the
campaign connections to Russia in the Mueller report.
Well, no, shut up.
11
No,
counts of
not a single
obstruction that they
indictment on
detailed
Trump. Not a single
in the
indictment
Mueller
on Trump.
report.
You're a liar.
The
You're a
reason
liar.
they didn't indict
You're a
him
liar.
is because of a
You're a liar.
long-standing
You guys are
policy
lying.
with the
You guys are
DOJ to not indict a sitting president. So the
You're
Mueller
lying.
report literally says he's guilty
I
as
see you
fuck,
like grooving
and that they
over there.
didn't indict him
never
because he's the
charged.
sitting president, and it would be
Sen-
political.
and the
You do not know what
parliamentarian
you're
has got
talking
a
about.
crazy amount of
You're
power,
an
too.
idiot, and no one should ever listen to what you have to say.
What I'm saying is that the people saw the
What you
lies
are
that they
saying
were
is
told.
complete nonsense.
They
You
saw
are
the lies that they
ill-informed
were
in
getting
every
told
way.
About Russiagate. They don't trust the government.
No,
They
no, no,
realize
no, 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 no. Shut
Trump
up.
was an
Russiagate.
anti-government. So
Russiagate.
when
What
they
you're
saw
saying
an
is
opportunity to
Russiagate
stand up-
isn't actually a thing.
I see. So,
Bro,
Justin,
Russiagate, this conspiracy
Russia?
Trump called Russiagate doesn't exist. It's a made-up right-wing thing. All of the details are in the Mueller report and in the 5th volume of the Senate Intelligence Committee report, which was
Okay,
a
why is
Republican
Trump not
panel that you've never fucking read, that
Why is-
100%
Why wasn't Trump
100%
charged?
paints
Why
Trump
wasn't charged?
Okay.
Why
as
wasn't
a
Trump
criminal.
all right,
Why
wait,
wasn't
wait,
Donald
hold
Trump
on.
So when
Don't
did
know
he get
what you're
arrested?
talking about. I just explained the long-standing
You're a
DOJ
fucking liar.
policy.
You're a
you
liar.
know nothing about politics, and no one should ever listen to you.
Then
Trump
take off
in
your
jail?
glasses, man. You're a pussy. You're a liar. You're scared. You're a liar, man.
I
You're
am
lying.
not a liar. Look
You're
up
lying,
everything
bro.
I fucking said. Look up
You're
the
lying.
5th volume of the
Why
Senate
didn't Robert
Intelligence
Mueller? Oh, I
Committee
did.
report.
Robert Mueller
What am
just
I
didn't
lying
feel like,
about?
Didn't feel like indicting Trump for fucking colluding with
I
another.
just told you why they
government.
didn't.
Because Robert Mueller doesn't have the power to indict him. Bill Barr was the one that was responsible for doing it. That individual was appointed by Donald Trump, and he chose not to indict
Doesn't
the
matter,
person
they
that
did
hired
not
him.
After 2
find
years
any-
of Biden, they
And
still
it's
decided
and
not to
they
indict him.
cited a long-standing DOJ policy to not indict. So your evidence that collusion
Not
didn't
even
even first of all
former president?
collusion wasn't a thing.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
show you
the
that you're a
actual
hypocrite.
criminal charge is conspiracy.
I'm gonna show you that you're a hypocrite.
You're just a fucking
Listen to this.
idiot, dude.
Listen to this. I'm gonna show you how you hypocrite are you. Is
I am
Biden
so
colluding-
tired
is
of I
Biden
wish you could
colluding
feel
with Ukraine?
embarrassment.
Is Biden colluding with Ukraine because of the Hunter Biden?
Oh my god, now you're removing the goalposts again.
Okay, is he? Is
This
he?
is
Yes
You
or
know
no?
nothing about
Is he? Yes or no?
You know nothing about
Is he yes or-
Ukraine.
It would be a
Is he
what about
yes or
it?
no?
You know nothing about Ukraine.
Is he?
Let's
Yes
do
or
it
no?
about the story about Hunter Biden
Take
and
over
you.
the panel. Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine.
all right, wait. Before
Hold
we
on.
get to Russia
Let me
and
explain
Ukraine,
Ukraine now, because
I-
dumb fuck over
wait,
here
wait,
wants to
wait.
talk
No,
about
let's not
something
get
he doesn't
into
know about.
Ukraine. Okay, there's
Wow, you really like your.
There's,
Just so we're
there's-
clear, are we talking
there's
about
plenty of
the war
panels
in
about
Ukraine, or are we
Ukraine.
talking about Burisma?
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about Hunter Biden. Actually, yeah, the Burisma story.
He doesn't know what he's talking
I'm
about.
all
Okay, I was
Ukrained
just
out,
trying
guys.
to
I know
so can
exactly what-
follow along.
Okay. Okay. Let's bring it back to
Can I
where,
explain
what we were
Ukraine
talking
now?
about. No, let's not go into Ukraine.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say that Justin, Sondsol, and somebody online believe Trump is at least somewhat culpable, if not fully responsible. And it
Oh,
seems...
that's not a belief. That's just a fact. That's a fact of the matter.
Gotcha. Okay, well, so some people are very confident in their positions. I wouldn't say anybody here is not confident in their position. That doesn't seem to be the problem here. But yet we continue
That
on.
is a problem. This dude right here is confident in his position when he's a complete fucking idiot.
Okay, so the lack, there is no lack of confidence, I guess is what I mean. Which is great, makes for a good panel. So moving on to the next topic, and this is a very spicy one. one that I feel particularly strongly about. But again, you know, this is a panel that I'm merely facilitating and observing. Do you consider Trump a fascist?
I would say that Trump, if he didn't have the institutions that we have holding him back, he would probably be a fascist. But I don't think that he's smart enough to be a fascist in the way that, like...
That's what I was gonna say. Trump's too stupid to be a fascist.
Yeah, like, that's the only problem. Like, after reading what fascism is and, like, reading fascist literature to, like, not be that dumb fuck that calls everyone that he disagrees with a fascist, like... Yeah, there's a lot of overlap there, but, like, you could call him a proto-fascist. I don't know if you could directly call him a fascist. He doesn't have that, like, underlying philosophical grounding where it's like, you know, action for action's sake.
Do we want to take a moment to, like, define fascism so we all have, like, an operating definition? Because my understanding of fascism is the merger of, like, state and corporate power, yes? So I would imagine
Mussolini's definition.
Yeah, it's like when the FBI talks to Mark Zuckerberg, tells him, "Hey, can you go ahead censor out?"
Oh my God, you're stupid!
That's exactly what
Fuck,
fascism
you're
is.
stupid, dude!
Okay, can I give a quick definition of
Can you
fascism?
please, like, get him out of here?
No,
He
I
has
love him. I
nothing
love
to
him.
fucking add to this
Please, Justin,
conversation.
I will allow
I've never
it.
been
Goebbels
happier in
had
my
nothing to
entire
do with
life, okay?
fascism.
All right. Okay, really quick. So fascism is basically a political philosophy. It doesn't really speak to, like, an exact economic or like political organization, but it's defined by its complete rejection.
Mayville, share your thoughts in the chat.
Socialism and liberalism.
I'm curious as to
where
why.
they will do anything that is good for the state, everything within the state, nothing without the state, and it is basically like a somewhere in between a blood and soil Nazism and a, like, total corporatization of what the state is.
Man, don't answer a question about definition with another definition called Nazis.
So, okay, so
Well,
Sondsol, do you agree it's the merger of state and corporate power? Just like...
That's a little bit too dumbed down for me, because state and corporate power is really, really vague, whereas, like...
Okay, but if we spend half an hour explaining it...
What about the
I know,
monopolies?
like,
Monopolies
I think we can-
and state.
Communism has a merger of state and corporate power as well,
Yeah.
as do most liberal
What?
societies.
Right, so a fascist would be someone who facilitates the merger of state and corporate power. That makes sense.
Would you call the Soviet Union fascist?
I don't know.
Why?
Please, God, somebody answer that.
Based off
No,
of that,
obviously no.
Yeah, no, it's obviously not a fascist state. If you know anything about fascism, it's basically a way to, like, totally connect everything within the nation to the nation's identity, right? There is a way to do this without the racial component, which is what fascist Italy did, or you can do this with a racial component, which is what Germany did, right?
My understanding of fascism is the government single-handedly changing the corporate climate of monopolies. That's my understanding of fascism. The state being able to single-handedly change the corporate climate of a monopoly.
Guess
What?
what? Teddy Roosevelt is a fucking fascist then, because he broke up monopolies and changed their corporate fucking environment. What are you talking about?
Well,
Have you ever taken a class, like, in anything?
No, listen.
Like, even
I
basket weaving,
You guys
dude.
don't believe in The thing is, you don't believe in social media monopolies. That's the thing.
My thing is, I don't
Hold
believe
on,
you know what
no,
you're
I
talking
believe-
about.
No, like, I believe that there are monopolies, right? Like, that's something that can happen, right? But I don't think that we have one right now that can be taken down by our antitrust laws.
So
Because
when the state-
the difference
Mayville,
between what a monopoly
How would
is
you
in the
compare
traditional
that?
sense is
Do you
they
consider
build,
any
like,
other U.S.
vertically
presidents
up, but
a
that's not
fascist?
what monopolies that we're seeing
How
right
does
now.
fascism
We're seeing them-
happen?
How does
Yeah,
fascism
thank you,
happen?
Sondsol.
Usually
So,
it's
no,
like,
no. I'm gonna tell you how fascism happens. This is
Oh,
how
I thought it was
fascism
a
happens.
question. Sorry,
The state
go ahead.
comes because the monopoly wants to stay a monopoly, wants to be denationalized. It wants to keep private. It's
Which monopoly was it
the
that
state
tried
is
to
gonna
take over Nazi
pressure the
Germany?
monopoly. The state's gonna pressure the monopoly. It's gonna tell them you're gonna get nationalized, or you're gonna do what we want. You're gonna change your culture. So if the company changes its culture, that's fascism to me.
What a Soviet
Because they
Union
would get
did.
broken up either the other way.
Songbird, I would argue no.
What about the Soviet Union that nationalized literally everything? They took every single corporation, every single firm, and put them under the state's rule.
Okay, but that's changing the economic. You're not still in capitalism with no social networks and nothing, and then nationalizing the corporate.
Fascism when Facebook?
No, fascism. What?
Because you
What
keep
you
on bringing
said?
up social media. Like, I don't understand what you mean.
No, I didn't even bring up social media. I didn't even bring up.
Totally merging. That's
He
fine.
has multiple times. He's mad that he's been banned on
said-
social media.
I said if the
He got made fun of, and he
if
called
capitalism-
somebody a racist name,
if
and he got
capitalism-
banned, and he's still butthurt about it.
Hold on,
If
I want to hear the rest
capitalism-
of this.
No,
If
he
cap-
didn't, Justin.
If capitalism stays, look, you're not gonna change the You're not gonna come to a company and say I'm gonna nationalize you, and I'm gonna nationalize all the companies in this. You're not gonna nationalize all the monopolies in this country without changing the economy from capitalism to communism. So that's not fascism. That you can't. It's when you keep that same system, and you force these companies, and they're forced to either survive or explode and die out. When you denationalize them, you actually give them an opportunity to still live. But fascism, you just dislocate the whole company and break it apart, and then they can't eat. I mean,
Do you think that the United States is a fascist nation? Because we've like told different companies to like break up because they've become monopolistic, and so we had to break up their companies.
No. Like the thing is, that's not happening anymore. You used to be able to do that, and there used to be a law that protected America from doing that, like the American government from doing that. But now there is
Again,
no
that's
law.
why I pointed it. No, we do have laws that are there, but like the problem is monopolies in the traditional sense, they buy out all of a single sector, right? All of it, like a very specific area in the economy, right? So like you can look at like the Bell phone company, right? Everybody was on Bell. But then once they figured out that that was like a monopoly, they had to break it up, right? Whereas like now we have different social media companies. They have video streaming services, and then they have social media services, and then they have bookstores, and they have like online shopping spaces. They're very, very large corporations, but they're not monopolies in the traditional sense, which is why we probably do need to create some sort of legislation to try and break up these super huge corporations. I don't disagree with you, but these aren't monopolies in the traditional sense, which is why they can't be broken up in our laws.
You're right. This is the thing. We assume that the
Cat-ass.
we assume that a government is elected officials. That's my thing. I'm assuming that the government that's making the decisions, the elected officials, where we have CIA, we have FBI, secretive agents, unelected officials, government employees that are making these decisions. It's not actual elected officials that we
Good
can
debate
kind
going on in
of
the comments,
manipulate
guys. I
their
am
decisions.
reading.
Not
I'm
the
trying to
CIA.
like manage everything.
I'm sorry.
This would be. I'm sorry. Did I say FEC? Holy fucking shit. Great. Holy shit. I
FBI?
said that. No, it's not the. It's not a law enforcement agency.
We talking about the kitty?
No, the
FCC?
FCC. Jesus Christ! I said the wrong thing, and then it completely blew my fucking brain out. Yeah, this isn't going to be the CIA or the FBI enforcing these laws. That wouldn't be at all. It would be the FCC.
Well, the thing
Okay.
is,
Different branch of the government.
the
Wait.
thing is, the
Yeah,
FBI.
but it's not what he's saying. The CIA or the FBI.
Please.
Well, the
let me finish then,
FBI
goddammit.
is.
Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about?
All right.
Straight, directly
So who the
speaking
fuck-
to
Okay.
Mark Zuckerberg and CEOs.
So this
The
is
FBI is speaking with them
very
directly.
good, very good. All right, somebody
Yeah,
online.
Also, talk to the president
wait.
directly. Does that mean that the FBI controls the president? Like,
All right. Okay.
I mean,
wait a
when you're sitting in an
Now,
official,
hold on just-
in an official
If I
capacity,
If you gentlemen will excuse me for
Sorry,
just a
yeah,
quick
yeah.
moment, if you don't mind. I'm reading here, fascism, a government system led by a dictator having complete power, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism through the direct control of media, regimenting all industry, commerce, and emphasizing an aggressive nationalism and often racism, enforcing a social hierarchy. So this is a relatively common definition of fascism as a whole. I feel like we fell into some sort of a hole where we were like talking about
Well, like the
industry or
Republican Party
something.
Platform.
Fascism is a relatively straightforward thing. We can get a little bit broader than that if we want to, but I don't know if Trump was necessarily pushing for a nationalized system with absolute control, but I will go for an expansionist
He tried to make himself a
nationalist.
dictator.
I will give you that. He tried to go for like a nationalist dictatorship sort of a role. He tried to establish a dynasty, which isn't that unsimilar to things that
He wanted
the
to
Bushes
punish
have done
media.
or the Clintons have done in the past, things like that.
All
I
right,
don't
very
disagree
good. So
with
look,
like the definition, it's just that like you could put like a lot of just hardcore authoritarian nations under that definition that we wouldn't consider fascist, right?
Couldn't
we
agree
consider
more.
North Korea fascist, right? We wouldn't consider
Right.
China necessarily fascist,
Right.
but like they fit almost every single one of those bullet points, which is why
Right.
there's like a philosophical underpinning to fascism, which is why I'm so, amorphous with the definition.
All right, cool. Look,
It's
so
difficult.
somebody online, I'm glad you mentioned that because I did want to kind of interject first to say that it sounds like you guys are stumbling over defining corporatism, which is an aspect of fascism. And it is actually something that is much like fascism, kind of hard to like accurately define. I feel like I'm glad RollinRa actually asked that question because I love these discussions because having done, participated in some direct I don't know. I have a fucking master's in history and I teach history. So I feel like I know history. I know these big broad terms fairly well. And I actually think fascism is probably the least understood political system. And so it's important that we talk about this. We try to get a working definition, but it's really hard. We could be here all night and not arrive at that. But if we're just going back to was Trump, it sounds like even you guys who don't like Trump, it doesn't seem any of you are willing to go full out, yeah, he's definitely a fascist. So we could just leave it at that, right? Nobody thinks that. Now, moving on to the next thing. I guess I'll just jump right into it. Was the raid on Mar-a-Lago justified?
No,
Absolutely.
Who said no?
I did. No.
Okay, RollinRa, go ahead.
I feel like, look, if we're gonna be using the FBI to investigate former politicians, it'd be one thing if if the FBI was investigating like
Murder
associates
come.
of,
Should I tell
Epstein,
Sondsol how you
like
feel?
the Clintons, Trump, Gateses, but that's not what it's
Oh,
about.
Alpha, welcome, bro.
It's about politics. They don't like Trump. They see Trump as a threat to their established order, so they want to tear him down.
Well, how do you know that?
Well, I mean, he is a criminal.
Then what was the raid about? Was it about like him colluding with Russia? Is that what we're convinced of?
No. So like,
I kind of wonder why they waited so long. You know,
because they've
Oh,
been trying to.
Once again, this is back to somebody saying, "I wonder why they waited so long." Doesn't actually know what they're talking about. Then,
didn't they
National
have other
Archives realized
things?
what was
Isn't he a criminal, right? You said he's criminal,
Hold
right?
on. The National Archives
been
identified
working
the
with
missing
Trump.
files May of last year.
You got two.
This is when
you got
this
these people
started.
here that want to
So
live.
you're acting
Okay,
like
wait,
it
so
took
a whole
2
year?
years or a year and a half.
You don't want to
Let
live.
me have my
did.
opinions.
Hurry up. That was
And
good.
like-
Oh no,
This is
Alpha
still a
Wasabi.
long time,
Dude,
right?
you are a fucking.
We know they're all
extreme
criminals.
idiot.
But they've been
that's a good thing that they
communicating with the
waited
Trump
this long.
lawyers.
Let's not act like
Yeah.
they're not all criminals.
Hold on, really quick. So she actually brought up a really good point. Like,
Dude,
this,
thank
this
you,
has
man.
been a
I
long
really
time to
appreciate
make
that.
it, like, why did they not like move on until now? Because of the implications of raiding a former president's house, right? They've been trying to go through every other avenue that they could to try and get these documents back, right? We even had a subpoena back in June, right? They had been like contacting him for a long time about this because it is unprecedented. It is absolutely just like I don't think it's literally ever happened in U.S. history that that any law enforcement
That
has raided
sucks,
a former
dude.
president's house for something
Still,
that
thank
from
you,
the
man.
White House.
Gary.
Sorry. Well, I mean, I thought that. Sorry, my cat's messing with stuff here.
But now apparently they referred this over to the
hold on.
DOJ around
Wait,
February.
yeah, wait, hold on,
But
Justin.
really quick,
Let
her
Nikki
talk.
finish.
She hasn't been able to go in.
I wasn't like trying to argue about it, but I just
Yeah.
feel like I don't think that they should do that unless they're going to do it to all of them. I do think he should be investigated. I believe all of them should be, though. That's the thing. Like,
But,
for
like,
What
all
does
of
that
them.
mean? That doesn't just
When are we
oh
sending
get
George
all of
Bush
them.
to
That
the
doesn't
Hague?
do us any good.
That does a lot of good, I think.
So what
Well-
does it just do good just to get one of
I
them
mean,
and not the
just
rest?
send George Bush to the Hague. I don't care. I was saying that in 2003, 2004. I was there on the front fucking line.
We
The
all
problem
have.
that
Welcome
we
to the
have-
fucking
The
party,
problem is that
dude.
it's not happening.
No, the problem that we have is that you have to have an actual reason to investigate someone, right? So like,
Yeah, but they
you
can always make
but
up
we,
on
but we
bullshit
can
that they
point
want.
we can point towards exactly what it is that they're claiming this entire raid was over, right? There are specific documents that they've been asking for. They've been trying to go through like all the legal processes to get, right? Whereas like unless you can point out a crime specifically that some other president or some other elected official has committed outside of office that they haven't been taken to task for.
Well,
like,
I actually,
please-
So they haven't
Sondsol,
been able to point out any crimes of Trump.
I remember all I remember clearly is that when they did start the raid, before they did find any boxes, they kept talking about January 6th, January 6th. Now it's all completely different. It has nothing to do with the January 6th. That's
Because
why
the
they're
January
raiding him.
6th commission has concluded for now. Yeah.
Taking a break.
Well,
But I think
no,
also
they had a
the
set
schedule.
schedule. They had a set schedule.
Instrument the state uses to defend itself, and it views Trump as a threat, so they raided him because he's not willing to play ball with Washington the same way.
Who's this
Okay, wait,
nefarious
hold on.
they?
No, wait.
My
hold on,
God!
I have a
Congress.
question. I have a
And to
question.
be honest with you, Sondsol, we read the search warrant. There was nothing specific really about it, talking about we're
The
in there just
search
to go
warrant
grab the
isn't going to
boxes.
have the search warrant isn't going to explicitly name every single like what is contained in every single classified document because they're classified.
You know, you
What
got
I'm
two.
saying, this
You got
incident
these
was
people
very,
that
very
want to live. You want to
convenient for
live?
you guys.
Alpha
to
was
be
sorry,
able to
bro.
do that
Thank
with
you,
Russia.
You don't want to live?
Then it went to
No,
January
hold
6th.
on. We're
And
talking
then now
about
it became
this
the
fucking
boxes
good guy.
espionage
issue
act.
right now. And I wanted to ask RollinRa that
What?
like you
Yeah, and
you said
can't
something
wait
just
for
a
the
second ago, and this guy
the
keeps on
emojis
interrupting.
to
I
debut. It's
almost
gonna
lost
take a
it.
few days.
You said something to the effect of like this is like he's saying it's kind of convenient that January 6th like went away. You realize that like the January 6th commission had a set schedule, right? And that they had these documents that they had been asking for since before the January 6th commission started.
No,
right?
he doesn't. He doesn't know shit about fuck.
Well, let him answer. Let him speak for himself.
Look, my view of the FBI in Washington is they can destroy anyone they want for any reason they want. They can always make up bullshit to investigate something.
Cops.
But if
You're
they-
you saying that is useless to anybody,
No,
dude.
it's not even
Like,
it's useless. It's that
important
you would
for
have to like
context to
prove
understand
because
what's
like the
gonna happen.
FBI.
You
was
can't.
helping-
They
No,
classify
wait, hold on.
everything.
No, the FBI tried to like also investigated some of the election fraud stuff that Trump was pointing out. Right? They helped investigate that shit, but they couldn't find anything. Even the Trump appointed judges couldn't do anything. So if you're going to say that the entire system is rigged for the powerful, then why didn't the system get rigged in Trump's favor during that?
Because
Right.
Trump is an enemy.
If I could
Because
just
Trump is what?
Look, let me explain to you my perception of the FBI.
Trump
in
is
general.
antagonistic.
The
to
FBI is a weapon
power
of the
structure.
state it uses to attack anyone that challenges its power, and it viewed Trump as a challenge to their power, so they made up some bullshit
He
to investigate.
appointed the
Why is it
person
so?
in charge.
Why are you so
That's
trusting
not
of this
true. That's
institutional
not
power?
true. That's not
Oh,
true.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
The
whoa,
person
whoa.
that is in charge of the FBI was appointed by
not-
Trump.
Yeah, you really trust the FBI?
Can I have the talking baton for just a second?
Go for
Can
it.
I say something?
I've been talking.
I've
I
spent
don't.
20 years in the media. I've met Mitch McConnell. I've met several representatives. The people that work in government are just like you and I. There's no nefarious
is like you,
monolith.
bro.
There's no. Shut the fuck up, dude. There's no nefarious
Shut the fuck
monolith
up,
that's
asshole.
going to
Jesus
trying to
Christ.
hold you
Behave yourself.
down.
Act like a fucking child. Act
What?
like an adult. Act like an adult.
wait.
Why don't you act like an adult and live in the real fucking
I have
world? I'm
it.
trying to explain how things work, and you're
Justin.
so
Someone
constantly
stupid to
attacks
understand it.
Justin, what was your media background, just so we know?
I have a very low tolerance for bullshit. I was news director of 11 radio stations and writer for 4 different newspapers.
Wow, that's
Gotcha.
really cool.
All right, cool. So, okay, I feel like, once again, we went all over the place, but that's all right. So if we could just be a little bit more, I don't know,
Concise.
like clear, right? Yeah,
I hate this
specific.
idea that there's some nefarious cabal that's trying to rule over people, and they're a monolith. Because, like, you're talking about the FBI, there were
I'm
a
saying they're a cabal. I'm saying all they care
faction
about is
inside the
themselves.
FBI. There was an anti-Trump faction. And when the Peter Strzok fucking text came out, that was one of the things with some of the other texts that were released, showed how fucking pro-Trump several members of the FBI were. So acting like they're a monolith does us no good. They're just people like you and I, dude.
Bro, no one's speaking about censorship, man. Sorry, what were you talking about? Fuck this fucking guy, bro.
What?
Schlatski, do you wanna give in your take here? Because I haven't heard a lot from you.
Yeah, what's
I
your
don't
take on the FBI, Schlatski? Can we trust them? Are they looking out for our best interests?
The FBI
It's not
is an
about
enforcement. Do you
trusting
trust the
them.
police?
Those are
Like, how can a
loaded
corrupt
questions.
organization
Can we
investigate
trust the
corruption?
FBI?
Yeah, let Schlats finish, man.
They're just like loaded questions really fucking annoy me.
Justin, I hear you,
Well,
man. I just want to hear Schlatsky. Go ahead.
Would you trust a corrupt organization to investigate corruption? Like, should the mafia investigate itself?
Loaded
If they've done
fucking
any
question.
crimes? It's
I think it's
You're the one
rhetorical.
that's strawmanning. You're the one that's strawman
Wait,
every argument.
Schlatski, let me ask you this: Do you have like evidence that the FBI is corrupt in the way that they investigate things?
No.
I guess, yeah, you got me. Not off the top of my head, no. But
No one remembers the FBI raiding the
Like, I would be
That's
able,
my feeling.
I could, right, but like that's the thing. I
that
would change my
legitimate?
position to exactly you guys' position if there was like evidence of any of this, right? But like the FBI is a huge organization, and like at some point, someone would be able to come forward. Someone would have come forward at some point and given some information that shows that they like.
I mean, Ed
show
Snowden came
preferential-
forward, right? Look what they did to him. I mean, you think just people love
What-
want to come
what did
forward?
Ed-
They're
what
so
did
excited
Ed-
to have their lives ruined. I
What
mean,
did, wait,
it's not
hold
that
on. What
easy.
did what was?
I mean,
what was
I
it
know,
that
I
he
get it. He's from the
released?
CIA. It's slightly different, but I just mean whistleblowing in general. It seems pretty hazardous to your health, right? Like,
But we've
why
had
would
two
we expect it to
whistleblowers
be
about
common?
like the CIA and about the military and shit like that, right? Over the past, we had Chelsea Manning, we had Edward Snowden, we had.
Did the
fucking
FBI not
WikiLeaks.
assassinate Martin Luther King? Am I wrong about that?
I actually
Fucking
don't know
heroes.
if that like.
The FBI raided the Uhuru organization in Florida.
All right, yeah.
Is that legitimate?
And in St. Louis
That-
too.
Is that acting in our best interest?
All right.
I don't
So
know.
actually-
Like, what was it? What is the context behind those things? I don't know anything about the
Collusion.
Is that the
Point is
Black
they're
guy?
corrupt.
Ooh, what a danger.
I think Schlatski is pointing to an overall trend of corrupt practices in the FBI.
Okay, yeah, but like you have to demonstrate that. Like that's my entire thing. I feel like
I haven't done
a long time ago. Well, I say a long time
FBI
ago. Last year or the year before that, when I was a socialist, I would have been like way more on you guys' side and just like taking this for granted. But like every single time I've taken something like that for granted, I get made to look like a total fucking dumb fuck because someone will ask me for any kind of evidence, literally anything. And when I research it, I can't find evidence that the CIA or the FBI shows preference on who they're investigating or why they're investigating them or anything like that. That's the problem. There's like there's no evidence for it, right? And we've had tons and tons and tons and tons of shit that is really damaging to both the FBI and the CIA get declassified. So at a certain point, you have to wonder, like, okay, well, are we just like holding on to this belief because like in the past the FBI has done some like shitty things, and like in the past like 40 years we haven't seen anything like extra bad come out. Like after the 50s and 60s, we haven't seen like nearly as much terrible shit come out of the FBI or the CIA. So like we have to start like wondering like where.
What
is
do you
the
mean? They're
evidence?
after. Mike Pompeo said he's after Julian Assange. I mean, this is something scary
That's
that you're
not.
actually.
Then that's not a secret.
Yeah, but it's something scary that you're actually trying to advocate the FBI is good or like CIA is good. They're actually created just to destroy socialist movement. FBI and CIA is to poop countries. We know this. This is.
Well, the
not,
FBI
You
also
said we
catches
lied, we cheated, we
pedophiles, so
stole.
there are lots of different.
Buddy,
things
if you
the
want to
FBI
talk about
does.
destroying socialist movements, they had a whole
They do
fucking
it
playbook, and
themselves.
you're doing exactly what
I don't think the
AlManaraReport
FBI needs
is
to
doing
jump in
exactly
there.
what they described.
Yeah, I don't
Justin,
think the
alright.
FBI
You
needs
have a
to
mirror,
help the
right?
socialists destroy their own movements because they're really good at doing it themselves.
The thing
Right.
is, to be honest with you, I think everybody here would agree that Justin embarrassed himself this year. I don't know why he's yelling and shouting so badly and telling.
Really?
He's gonna say that
Really?
I embarrassed.
I embarrassed myself.
And I think we have to bring this discussion back. We have to bring this discussion back to. Would this be okay to happen to Biden if this ever happened to
Good,
Biden?
yes,
for
correct.
For
Biden,
Ukrainian
if Biden
collusion.
did the exact same, if Biden did
No,
the exact
for
same
Ukrainian
thing,
collusion.
bro.
Okay,
like,
wait,
what
I
do you
didn't know
think-
that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to explain Ukraine, aren't I?
Guys, investigating
Oh
Biden.
my God, the fucking Ukraine.
It's such a fucking non-issue. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This has been well documented from multiple different fucking sources, from people both in the Democrat and the Republican Party, people who have a fucking vested interest in investigating Biden and getting him the fuck out. They don't have anything because there's nothing fucking there. All right, the worst that you have is a fucking laptop that Hunter Biden like misplaced, and then people got his dick.
Idiot
pics.
over
And
here
it made a whole
shaking his
bunch of
head.
hold on,
I'm
it
sorry.
made a
A
whole
little
bunch
bit
of
more than
Republicans
dick pics.
suicidal. No. It
I'll
made
tell
a
you
whole
the
bunch of
worst I have.
Republicans suicidal because they realized that the dick
The
was
worst
smaller
I
than
have.
Hunter Biden's. Okay, it made
worst I
Hunter
have is
Biden look
Biden.
really fucking cool, and it made like everybody else just like look like
The
the
worst I have
grassroots
is
straws.
Biden admitting that he influenced the firing of the prosecutor that was prosecuting his son. That's
Fuck
the worst.
yeah,
I
he
That
have.
wasn't
did.
even
He
on the
was
That's
laptop.
great
I
collusion.
gotta
Yes,
move
that's
on.
Now
like-
please
he's
explain
open
that because
about
he
it.
doesn't
I
know
gotta-
what he's talking about yet
Yeah,
again.
Justin, go ahead.
Bro, Justin, whoa! Are we gonna just let Justin lie nonstop?
Hold on, hold on.
You made a claim and he
I'll-
says
I'll-
that he
Justin has not lied a single time. Justin knows what he's talking about,
Alright.
and you are an idiot.
So
You didn't say
anyway,
that one thing
Terrifying.
about
we're
police.
Do
gonna-
not trust me about anything. Look up anything I
Go
say.
ahead, Justin.
well,
Go ahead,
okay.
Justin.
It's gotten very nasty. Somebody online,
Hey,
please.
raise your hand.
Somebody online, I'd like to hear from
I'm
you.
having
Before.
Raise your damn hand.
Roll-
Now.
hey.
Raise your hand.
Whoa,
We're having fun.
Wait a minute.
Raise your hand.
Rolling
Whoa,
Ra.
raise your hand.
Hold on.
Schlatski. Fine.
Rolling Ra. Relax. All right, we'll get back to you, I promise. Somebody online, I haven't heard from you in, I don't know, it feels like a couple minutes now. I want to know your take on this. Was the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago justified?
Yeah, I think that this is entirely appropriate. I think that when Trump left the Oval Office, there was concerns that he was taking things with him that he wasn't authorized to take with him at the time. Shortly thereafter, I can't remember when exactly, sometime last year, there was a box or two or seven or 8 boxes that were turned back over to the Hall of Records or the presidential annex to keep track of everything. Not everything was turned over. That made
All right,
a
guys,
lot of
sorry, I haven't
demands,
been
and I
keeping
think
up
that
with
we're
chat.
getting relatively close to an election, and I don't think that the FBI wants to be doing anything with potential political individuals anytime near an election. So they wanted to get the raid done early enough that they could separate it from the November elections. And they needed to make sure that they didn't run out of a time limit. They'd made demands of Trump, turn everything over. He signaled that he wasn't going to turn everything over. It results in a raid. These things happen.
All right,
First
balance.
of all, it wasn't a raid. They were just serving a search warrant. That's not a raid.
Sure, yeah.
It's like Marjorie Taylor Greene saying she got swatted. No, it was just a welfare check. She didn't get swatted.
Interesting. Lots of talk about swatting lately. Hope it does not happen to me. RollinRa, please go ahead.
Oh, if you're having fun, don't raise your hand. Okay, that's exactly what I thought.
Or if you're not listening.
That confuses me with the double negative. I'm having lots of fun, I'll say that. Manara, did you have something else to say?
Man, I just wish that Justin, every time he calls me an idiot or something, to actually back up the claim. Or can tell me one thing I was an idiot about.
I have. I wish you'd stop being an idiot.
Tell me one thing I was an idiot about so I can destroy your shit logic.
Oh God, man, my stoner ass can't remember what the fuck I did 5 minutes ago. You can go back and watch the video. You've been wrong about everything. Ukraine, and they shared it in the chat, man. Let me explain Ukraine to you. So the reporter that said, the reporter that broke the whole story for the New York Times, he became a reporter for The Intercept, and he wrote a follow-up story after the right wing ran with this. See, the prosecutor that Biden was pressuring to get fired was actually corrupt. And putting in a new prosecutor would have resulted in a higher chance of Burisma being investigated. This is according to the reporter that broke the story.
Shit. Yo, you're okay with this? This is totally okay that the U.S. can influence another foreign country's...
Wait a minute. Did you not just hear what I said? You got the story wrong.
They're taking advice from us.
The reporter...
From us. Yeah. Go for
Bro,
it.
I
The
can
reporter that wrote the story.
You're corrupt. You look corrupt to me.
Dude.
And the ugly ass bandana.
Dude.
We're saying the United States.
The reporter that wrote the story says your version of events is wrong.
This is absolutely asinine. You're
absolutely fucking stupid.
I'm supposed to believe and anyways, even if you do believe
the reporter that broke the story, you wouldn't know anything about Burisma if it wasn't for this reporter.
You're okay with the government of the United
Sondsol,
States
is that
of America
correct?
influencing the justice, system of another country? Are you insane?
Wait, hold on. What did you say, Justin?
And somebody shared it out in the chat.
Hey guys, I'm insane.
Wait,
Justin,
what did you say,
you
Justin?
look so bad.
What
You're
was
the
the question
ugly ass
that you just
bandana. Justin.
All right,
Man,
all right,
I
listen.
really do feel sorry for you
Wait,
because
wait.
you have looked like an absolute
Nobody-
fucking moron,
man.
and you
Okay.
don't even realize it.
Look,
But that's
okay.
with people like
You
you.
interrupted me at every
You're
point.
confident
Excuse
and
me!
you're fucking ignorant.
Hold
Stop!
on, let the moderator talk.
Shh. Thank you. Okay, look, nobody here is insane. This is an incredibly rational conversation, obviously.
I said I'm insane.
Okay, well, maybe wrong.
No, it's not.
All right, so we're going to move on because, well, I just feel like it's time. I feel like we've really reached the end of our rope with that. Could I move to the next topic, which will be, and the final one of the evening, do you believe at this point that you're going to vote for Biden in 2024?
Yes.
No.
Biden-based fucking Giga Chad, Dark Brandon, 2024. Let's fucking go. I fucking love every single one of his fucking policies that he's put forward. It's all been fucking based. It has helped the poorest people in this country, which is how I base all of my fucking political opinions on. How do we help the poorest in the fucking country? How do we bring people up to where they have an equality of opportunity? And god damn it, fucking based pro-union Biden has come through on fucking every single one of his promises thus far, except for the public option, which is a little bit of a difficult fucking thing to get through. So I'll give him a little bit of a pass on that, since he's passed so many fucking Giga Chad fucking things. The fucking lowered the fucking inflation rate fucking bill, the fucking Build Back Better bill, the fucking what was the other, the infrastructure bill. Every single fucking thing that he has passed has been so unbelievably based. I will give one vote. Shit, I might go vote a second time. I might vote a third time. I love this motherfucker. Goddamn.
Please don't, dude. Please don't.
Voter fraud? No, go ahead, RollinRa.
No, go for it.
What? No, absolutely not. I'm done playing their game. I'm done with Washington's bullshit election game, their sham. I'm done with the duopoly, and I'm going to advocate that everyone else not vote for Republicans or Democrats ever again. And if you do vote independent, third party. Just don't vote for them. They're not your friends. They don't care about you.
So basically, whoever is voting Democrat is voting for Joe Manchin. Basically, you're voting for Joe Manchin. This is the Joe Manchin.
I don't live in West Virginia, so I can't.
Better was for Joe Manchin.
It was not for Joe Manchin. He actually took the amount of money that was supposed to go into that bill and dropped
he gave him the pen. He gave him the pen for the inflation.
Yes, because Joe Manchin got that base-ass fucking bill passed because he made concessions. He made concessions to the Democrats. That's what happens when you actually
the
start
Democrats
building.
made concessions to him.
No, not on that one. All right. When Joe Manchin got that pen, it's because they built a coalition with him. That's what effective coalition building looks like. When you're able to get someone who has been like fighting with you for like fucking a year and a half, 2 years on every single bill, bringing every single bill down in the amount of money that you're trying to spend, and then you get that person to lead the charge and get fucking all the fucking centrist Dems over on it. Like, fuck yeah. Like that's
great,
totally
Sondsol.
fine.
I just want Democrats to stop saying that they're progressives and actually own up to that. You're a Joe Manchinist. You're a Manchinist.
They don't fucking say they're progressive.
You're a Manchinist. Stop saying you're progressive. Stop saying you're progressive.
Wait, how can
Joe Biden has never said he's progressive, you fucking idiot.
One final question for Mr. AlManara. Okay? 1 second. I have one last question. AlManara, how am I voting for Joe Manchin if I don't live in West Virginia? Go.
Well, you're voting for Joe Manchin because he is the controller. He is the nominator. He is the only one exercising his
Wait, who is he nominating?
electoral power.
Wait, who is he nominating?
He's the one that's controlling these must-pass bills. He's the one that allows
Why
that
is
says
that?
if they're going to pass or not, and they have
Why
to give
is
him concessions. Why? Because Democrats have no bone.
No,
they're
it's
not
because they don't have
progressives.
enough
They're not
fucking
pushing-
senators.
It's
They don't have
really
enough
rare
Democratic
that
senators.
Democrats
No, they don't have
They
enough
can't whip their
Democratic
own
senators.
votes?
They have 50.
No.
There is a 50.
This is like a Hardy.
Doesn't matter.
No, it literally
With the
does.
Democrats
Actually,
like
it's
president.
actually
I'll
like the
explain to you.
entire reason why Joe Manchin has so much power in the Senate is because there is
I'll
not
explain to
a
you.
single other Democrat to spare.
I agree.
So
I
because
agree,
he is the
Sondsol.
most right. Because he is the
Doesn't
most
that make every
right-leaning
Democrat the
senator.
most powerful
Wait,
Democrat?
Schlatski.
No, it
Schlatski,
makes
let me
him the
say
most
something.
senator.
I'm
Because the rest of them are
Any
going to
Democrat
vote
could
for
decide to
almost
just
anything.
hold it up.
Sondsol.
It's just Joe Manchin is the one who
Yeah,
does.
because he's the most right-leaning one. Yeah, so he is the one that has. He is the spoiler vote. Congratulations, you just figured out
So-
what the Senate is like.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think with
Um,
Schlatski's
I
trying
have something. I have something to say. Someone in my chat wants to say something to you. He says the CHIPS Act doesn't include. Someone in my chat says the CHIPS Act doesn't include PCBs or other parts you need to construct a computer, especially the motherboard. And he really wanted Sondsol to know that.
Okay, well, we're trying to get semiconductor production built up in the United States, which I think was either part of the Build Back Better plan or part of the Inflation Reduction Act. So it was one of those two. I can't remember which off the top of my head, but congratulations. Now the United States is going to be even more based.
So, Sondsol, the argument that we need more Democrats just has no standing because
Why?
I would have believed you if I saw any pressure campaign on any progressive that said he is a progressive. Any pressure campaign in any way, I would have believed you, but I saw no pressure.
Except for all
I
the
saw
pressure campaigns on Joe
Manchin.
Manchin where he got all that bad press.
I mean,
every
where's
single fucking...
Biden? Where's Biden? Where's Biden? Isn't he?
He's
where's
literally fucking sitting there
Jayapal?
all the fucking time, telling Manchin to fucking come to the table.
No, Jayapal gave Biden an A before he even did anything with Joe Manchin.
Wait,
She actually loved Joe Manchin. She kept rising him up and telling him that I'm sure he's gonna get to a concession with us.
He's talking about Pramila Jayapal, but he has no fucking clue what he's talking
Progressives
about.
are not fighting at all for you, so I would have believed that one or two extra ones would have changed the fact of the matter. But I really believe that Joe Manchin took full authority of their ball sacks and grabbed them like I'm grabbing Justin Wall's ball sack right now.
Justin, what is your
sexual
answer?
assault, brother? What the fuck?
What is Justin when you're?
Oh, fucking shit!
Wait, Justin, how do you?
Yes, you have indeed been swinging from my balls this entire time, sir. How do they taste?
It's like that one kid. All
It's
right,
probably
Justin,
the only thing he can reach from all the way down there. He's probably like 5'4", you know.
Right, listen, everybody's balls are lovely. So listen. Okay, this is a good time. Justin, so Sondsol is entirely certain of his position in 2024. What about yourself?
I'm not so certain that Biden's the nominee. If Biden, no matter who is the nominee, I don't see myself not voting for a Democrat just because it's playing the long game. These kids, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Studied politics for years. They are naive. Maybe dude below me has gone into some cynicism, gone into often denialism. I don't fucking know. But if you guys are so upset with the Democrats, why the fuck are you even voicing your opinion? You go home, go build a third party. I'm all about it.
Why are we voicing our opinion?
Cool with a third party. Please make it happen. I would love to have a third party to vote for.
I'm gonna vote third party.
I would love to have a
just
system
despite you.
that's more
Just
parliamentarian. I would love to have a country that where we can have ranked choice voting, where we can have a build coalitions who actually rule. But that's not the way we that's not how the system has been designed, and in order to change it, we have to take it over. We have to take over one of the parties. That's the only way there is. And the nut jobs took over the fucking Republican Party. I saw how they did it, and I want to use that as a roadmap. If you're not in with it, fine, shut the fuck up. But go do some community action, do some groundwork, fucking put your money where your mouth is. Otherwise, just get out of my fucking face, because you're ill-informed.
How about this?
Justin, are you familiar with Kashama Swant?
I have no clue. What was that, English?
Kashama Swant, she's a socialist in Seattle.
Was that
City
a
Council.
person?
Okay, city council.
I don't give a
okay,
shit.
You know what she said about the Democratic Party? She said the road for progressives in the Democratic
I
Party
don't give a
leads to the
shit about
graveyard.
people's opinions, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, we know.
I give a shit
So how about this?
data.
How about
I
this?
give a
Can
shit
the
about
third party
action.
people- Can the third party people sell
People
me
with
this?
experience.
Because this is what my
The
opinion of
Democratic
third
Party, who
parties
fucking
is,
cares what they
right?
think?
Yeah.
I think
I
that-
have
agree-
experience. I fell asleep during a Mitch McConnell speech because I've been doing meth all weekend. I have experience, sir.
Okay, this is my thing.
right.
When it comes to
Okay,
third
anyway,
parties,
that was a
I
little
agree
off
with
topic.
I agree with Justin that it would be great if we could have a parliamentarian system where we had coalition building and all that shit. You could vote for someone who was most aligned with your policies, right? But here's my question. It feels like to me going for third parties right now or trying to advocate for that as your number one political issue is like putting a band-aid on someone who's been shot in the chest 15 times. It doesn't feel like it actually is going to achieve what you're trying to do. So
So does voting for the person who shot them in the chest 15 times help?
Well, okay.
Well, no.
The
I'm
person that
totally
got
down
shot
with
in the-
third
wait, hold on.
parties.
Really
Win city councils.
Yes, exactly. But
win school
in
board.
my analogy right there, or in my metaphor, the person that got shot 15 times in the chest was the entire governmental system of the United States. It feels like there's a lot more that we should focus on before we start focusing
Republicans. It's the same.
on. No, it's not. Okay. Okay. Can you not think of
Get involved locally and make a difference then.
Okay, so in the Republican Party, we
Republicans
can
are
look
just
at a couple.
Democrats.
No. When we look at the Republican Party, we can see a whole bunch of different strain of thought. You can see
Oh,
the more
Big
libertarian
Donnie,
people,
what's
you
up,
see the,
man?
like, crazy QAnon people. You can see the people that are, moderate Republicans.
Donnie,
like
we
Mitt,
made affiliate,
Mitt
baby.
Romney,
Let's
right?
go.
When you look at the Democratic Party, we have the Progressive Caucus, we have the Congressional Black Caucus, we have all these different factions, even within the different parties, right? There are different factions within these things. We have a pseudo multi-party system. It is pseudo though, and I agree with you. It would be better if we had multiple parties, right? But those third parties are non-viable because people, number one, they largely do agree with either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Although if you're like a libertarian, like conservative, you're kind of fucked. You don't really have much of an option on either.
You got these people over here that want to live. You want to live?
Have to vote for whoever
Get
is
in
the
line,
most
we'll
aligned
live.
with the
You don't want to
policies that
live?
you care about.
Hurry up.
Myland
So,
Meow,
like,
thank you
that's the
so
thing.
much.
We do
But third
kind of
parties
really
are
appreciate that.
viable on the
How are
local
they going
level.
to
At the
become viable
local
by
level,
voting
yes,
for their
when-
opposition?
Say it again.
How are
By
third
building
parties going to
coalitions at the
become-
local level. I keep
Hold on,
telling you
wait,
that.
Schlatski,
I keep
wait, hold
telling
on,
you
let me hear what he
that.
said.
If you vote for the opposition, how's the third party ever going to become viable?
Because you have to start from, you have to create a ground game, and instead of getting a ground game, instead the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, whatever the fucking Jimmy Dore Party is, right? This is exactly what the two parties I listed and then the fucking Jimmy Dore Party is going to do, right? They go for the fucking presidency,
Grift.
and they like try and like they don't ever try and get like those those local seats. They don't ever try and get those Senate or those state level seats. They always go straight for like the national level, and you're never going to get that because the stakes are too high for any person that is left leaning or right leaning to ever vote for someone that is just going to be a spoiler vote. It's all about like the tactical voting, and most people in the United States understand that, right? Like you could just say like, oh well, if we all just voted for a third party, well yeah, we would eventually get someone. Well yeah, that's great, unless you're like willing to completely lose out on a congressional seat or a senatorial seat or a presidential like the office of the president, arguably the most powerful person in the entire
3
fucking
Supreme
world.
Court seats.
3 Supreme Court seats. Yeah, like this is like pretty.
Women
This
lose
is-
bodily
Donnie,
autonomy.
will always be
This is
the
actually insane.
OG.
The
Yeah,
Democrats-
Jimmy Dore fan. Like Jimmy Dore
Democrats-
specifically
the
said
Democrats-
the
the
Republicans
Democrats
would never
believe-
get some 3
the
Supreme
Democrats-
Court
the
picks.
Democrats-
Specifically.
The Democrats,
And that's your
they
savior.
believe- the
What a
Democrats
dumb
believe-
fuck.
The Democrats believe that they can increase the number of Supreme Court justices before, and they won't subscribe to a third party. Can you believe that? That's how lunatic.
What a fucking
lunatic
non
this-
sequitur! Can you give me like a one-to-one through line?
Bro, you
on
sound
how that
nihilistic
works?
as hell, bro. You
No,
sound
it's not nihilistic.
as hell.
It's real.
You know what nihilism means? God
the
damn,
way-
you're
The
stupid.
Supreme Court serves
The way
the
politics-
God,
fucking
it's like someone printed out a more retarded version of infrared. What the fuck?
the-
Can you
the
please
way
explain to me how
politics
third
works-
parties get us a fucking
work-
fucking Supreme Court justice?
The problem is you're acting like third parties won't work, and if they don't work, why the hell is there a forward party?
No, I told you they can
How many
work. I just told you how they can work.
You can
How many
steal your
federal?
vote.
No, Justin Freakin, shut up for 1 second. Tell me how many fucking federal seats does the Forward Party have?
Bro, what the hell are you talking about? Seats?
How many
We're
seats
talking
in
about-
Congress or the Senate?
I don't need to win. You think I want to win? I don't want to win. I want to be able
Oh,
to
okay, well,
pressure.
great.
This
Thank you
is the
for
way to
admitting that.
pressure.
Holy shit, we
I
got
don't wanna win.
we could have
I
skipped this entire
Did-
conversation.
Did-
Biden
Just
was not the
admitted they didn't
nominee.
wanna
Do you
win.
think that
First of
changed
all-
the Democratic campaign at all? The fact that he wasn't the nominee?
Who did?
Biden did not make the nomination. He had no effect on the
What?
campaign whatsoever?
He didn't make what nomination?
The Democratic nomination. It was Hillary.
What?
What you don't understand.
Or sorry, not
2016?
Biden. Bernie, excuse me. Bernie didn't make the
Yes,
nomination,
but he
right?
didn't. No, but that's what me and Justin are saying. Like, if you do
We
it
have
from
to
with,
support
no,
those
wait,
people.
no, I agree. No, you're
Even
1
if we
million
lose,
percent right. No, you're 1,000,000% right.
Hey,
But
hey,
doing it
hey.
through a third party is not going to do that because the Democrats are not going to listen to the fucking Green Party, right? You have to do it from within the party because if you
If they
get
need
power
the
within-
people who are going to vote for the Green Party in order to win, then they will listen to them. They're not listening to them now
but they
because
don't
we're saying
know,
vote blue no matter
because
who.
you
They
can
do
win-
need
you-
them.
If they
They
vote
do
blue
need
no
them.
matter who, they don't have
They
to
will
listen.
need them. They will need them
gives
because the
a fuck
Republicans will
about
take them.
public
Yo,
You've defeated,
you don't
you've
know how
defeated
what
your
politics
own
works.
argument. You've
Poisoning
defeated your
her
own
food
argument by
water.
pointing out
These
someone
smashed
who is
slavery,
successful
therapy,
doing the
is
exact
very
same
useful.
fucking thing that
They
me and Justin are
support
saying
abortion,
that you
so-
need to do if you want to be
Mayville,
successful.
you're
If
speaking
you want to be
facts.
successful, get some people that are more aligned with your values elected to the Democratic
I
Party.
don't have a spot
Start
in the I don't have room. There's no space for me in the Democratic Party. There is no space for
Well,
me.
then get
I'm
someone.
a
Then
lefty.
run.
There,
Then
the
run
space
for
for
an
me doesn't
office
exist.
yourself. Inshallah, you'll get in.
You
and
are
you'll
not
get
a lefty.
Medicare for all. totally into the United States fucking political system. Inshallah, brother, please, let's fucking do it. But you're not going to do that by just like praying that voting for a third party is going to somehow shift the opinions of the Democratic Party when they don't need the Green Party's votes to do that. What you do is you do what Bernie did. Bernie did it so
that's what we just saw, though.
He
That's what we
completely
just saw.
shifted. Bernie completely shifted.
You're
the
actually
entire
wrong. I'll
politics
tell you why.
of the
Sondsol.
Democratic Party. They've become
Sondsol, you
a more
spoke for a minute.
progressive party overall.
Sondsol, you just
Yeah,
came
go
up
ahead.
with
I'll
a great
stop
point.
talking.
Thank you for that. You literally just made an amazing point that the Democrats are the one that steal the third party vote every single time because they know that they're going to lose without the third party vote. They know. That's why we saw that in North Carolina. They went up to the third party voters. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna lose if you vote third party. Please vote Democrat." See, instead of
They fucked over the third party candidate, just like they fucked over Bernie, just like they fucked over everyone. They keep fucking over everyone. This is another reason why I don't vote for
Nefarious they.
Instead of using
the
that,
DNC, they fuck over the progressive Democrats, but it doesn't matter. They all work together. Once you see it, you see it, and you can't unsee it. That's it.
So how did they?
We're back to that. This
last question.
Nebulous, nefarious they. Please stop.
How did the Democrats fuck over the
Sondsol,
Green Party?
hold on. Justin, just to clarify, I think everybody here, when they say they, is referring to, the establishment in general, right? This whole notion of Republicans.
Specifically,
hold on. Let me explain. Republicans and Democrats, long-serving members of Congress in both parties. People who've been in the political system for a long time, people who used to be in politics and now work as lobbyists, or they work in, some sort of political adjacent things like that. I think there's this sense in America, in fact, I would argue it's absolutely true, that there really is this idea of this, this political class that sort of just maintains control behind the scenes, while there's this illusion of choice that we all seem to think we have. That's what everybody means by that.
Thank you, Ben.
The truth is,
I don't subscribe to that.
The truth is, voting third party is
That
almost
sounds conspiratorial.
Is almost a guarantee that Republicans win. That's why Democrats hate that. And see, that's
But
the power
once
of the
again,
third party. That's the power of
been.
the third party. You're gonna beg for me. You're gonna beg for my vote, and you won't get it. I'll actually give it to the Republicans.
God, you're an idiot.
Why? Because they're gonna give me what I want. Yeah, that's how the pressure works.
Yeah, because you're a Republican. That's okay.
We ain't never
Come and join me. Rhinos for life.
Stop playing their game.
Bro, Republicans
And
are
the
better.
West, good
I
source.
mean, I don't see a
Join
difference
Trump.
between a Democrat
Rhinos
and
And the West, good source.
The election process is their game. Stop playing it.
all the difference I see.
But as
is if I
somebody,
can-
when you
what
stop
does that
playing, the other
mean?
side
Only
gets
difference
way
that
more.
They're
only
the
difference that
same
exists-
party. It doesn't
the
matter.
only difference that exists is which party can I
It does
pressure.
matter.
No, it doesn't.
That's the one that matters. Which party can I pressure? That's the only thing I care about. Which party can I pressure?
Yeah,
That's
but
the
that-
one
but-
that I...
no,
And
I
it's the
don't
Democratic
disagree. I
Party,
don't
so vote for
disagree.
the
No,
Democratic
you
Party.
can't pressure the
fuck.
Democrat Party. We already,
No, hold on.
already
You're
established that. You
so-
cannot pressure
we
the Democrat
did.
Party.
Except for
You
Bernie, but
did.
you already said that Bernie already fucking did do that, right? That's the entire thing. You're saying one thing that we agree with. Yeah, you should pressure the Democratic Party to be more in line with your values, right? But by voting third party, you're ceding that pressure. You're not voting for someone that's
I would
going to pressure
argue
the
that,
Democratic
I
Party
would argue
because the
that
Democratic
Bernie
Party,
didn't
the Democratic
politics.
Party did not change
Matter.
its tune
The thing is,
until
Medicare for
someone
one
from
party.
within
The
went in
progressives
there.
policies did not assign. Bernie Sanders did not do anything except cheap herd more.
Hold on,
Third
hold
party
on.
to the
Can I
Democrats.
say
That's
something?
why.
Can I say something?
Wow,
Pause.
holy shit, you
The
just,
Democrats did not
but
change.
you're saying that's your entire argument. You're saying your entire argument is to create pressure on the
My
on the
argument is the
Democrat- Hold on,
opposite.
wait. No. You're saying, okay, tell me if I'm wrong. You're saying that the best way to get into power is to pressure the Democrats to change their policies by having a third party get a lot more.
I'm not
votes
being
and
in
let them
the
know.
Democrats.
Wait,
I'm not running as
wait.
the
I'm almost
Democratic
done.
Party in the first place. No, you have to
I'm
understand. I know exactly what you're saying.
Hey, wait, but you told me. Okay, so you.
Wait, hey guys,
the best way to do it-
hey, let's
I know what you're saying.
All right,
Bernie Sanders ran
wait.
by the Democratic
Let's
Party.
let Sondsol finish, then Manara, then Justin.
$15 an hour minimum wage, Medicare for all, fucking make it populism in general on the Democratic side. These are all things that Bernie Sanders was able to do from within the Democratic
see
Party.
them anywhere.
If,
I don't see them anywhere.
they actually care about anything.
It's
the
part
thing
of the
is-
party's national platform.
Sondsol, you
And
just
it's not
shot
gonna
yourself in
Not
the foot.
Medicare for all. Not
You
Medicare
just
for all.
Sondsol, you just shot yourself in the foot. You just proved my point. If you do not run in the Democratic Party, that's the only way you can push them.
Okay, so
Bernie
what
Sa-
po-
if
what
Bernie Sa- can I finish?
policy-
I'll
what
let you finish. I'll
policy-
let you finish. I'll let you finish.
What
If Bernie
policy did
Sanders
the
ran,
Green Party do?
If Bernie Sanders ran in a third party, and then forced the Democrats to change their policies, then we would have really seen a change in policies. And I can tell you then, wow, Bernie Sanders really did it. But I don't see any difference in policies. I see Joe Manchin's policies
Except for
being
all of the
enacted. I don't see
green
anything.
energy
You're saying 50 minimum
programs,
wage.
all of the
You're
green
saying the
energy
climate deal.
programs,
Those are all
except
Joe
for all of
Manchin's.
the...
Those are all Joe Manchin's
Is
stuff.
green
They're
energy
not-
Joe
they're-
Manchin,
they're
Mr.
not
West
the
Virginia coal man? You're telling me that he is like super in favor of all of the green energy shit?
Oh, so you're gonna act like he did? They didn't give him all the concessions he wanted for the climate deal?
No,
Are you
they
gonna
didn't.
act like he didn't? They didn't.
They didn't give him all of the concessions he wanted.
Okay.
Politics is hard.
All right, Justin,
Politics
go
It's
ahead.
really
And
confusing.
obviously this guy hasn't thought about it at all.
Wait, somebody
Doesn't
online.
work.
I haven't heard from you in a while, so I definitely. wanna
I'd
get
really
to-
like to hear from Justin.
Yeah, Justin,
though.
go ahead.
He is emphatic.
I know he's.
I do want to
he's-
talk after that,
yeah.
though, if you don't mind.
Go, Justin, then somebody go.
Sondsol, your hair is beautiful.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yours too, brother.
Was that it? I thought he was gonna say more.
All right,
He's too high.
Somebody
What
go
about
ahead.
Nikki's hair?
He's
Is
too
Nikki's
high.
hair nice?
So
What about my hair? We all know my hair.
Bernie is the Senate Budget Committee chairman and has gotten a shit ton done. And
Nothing.
like to be
Nothing,
honest
no.
with you,
He did nothing.
If it
I don't.
affects you
Dude,
personally,
do you
doesn't mean-
watch
just because it
fucking
doesn't
committee
personally
hearings and
affect you,
shit?
doesn't mean that it doesn't like massively
Bro,
help all the
he's
poor people
angry
in
about the
country.
Inflation Reduction Act after he voted for it. Shit, give me a fucking break. Get out of here.
He's not angry.
Well, he's
about it
angry
because
he
he
couldn't
helped
get
author it.
more, but that's because he's awesome.
You guys are being very unserious. I mean, if I follow your politics, I would never get anything done. And for 50 years, for real, yeah, you're right. You guys weren't joking about that 50-year number. I thought you were joking.
You are one of the dumbest
The
people
only
I've
way that
ever
you would get
encountered in my
all of
life.
your-
I mean,
Yeah,
at least
we
I
know
don't wear
that
a
anyway,
ugly-ass
so,
bandana.
I'm talking,
Okay,
someone-
hold on,
someone
hold
else
on.
talk, someone else talk.
AlManara, like, I do have to say, like, I understand where you're trying to go. You're trying to say, hey, if we like vote for third party, we get a couple of like third party candidates, or if we disrupt the presidential election by taking 10% for a third party candidate, we'll make it so that the Democratic candidate loses, and then a Democrat will have to make concessions to the other rest of the party later on. I also know that you secretly just want the Republicans in power because that's going to further your own personal goals, and that's okay too. Like,
If
you
I
can
can
have your
push
own.
them-
Hey,
Oh
no,
my
no,
God.
hold on.
If I can
You're
push
allowed
the
to have your own
Republicans
personal
to the left, I'm okay
goals
with it.
and values, but the issue is that you have to lose an election first in order to try to enact the change that you're trying to enact. Like, if we look at AOC, for
I'm
example.
not an ideologue.
If we look at AOC, for example, she's formed a coalition within the Democratic Party and then managed to pull policies to the left. The reason that we've seen the Senate handle the way that it has is because we've got a 50-50 split. And so we've got the most conservative Democrat in.
Guys, so I just posted a poll in chat. I'm going to post it a few times. Vote on who you think won. And I'll post it to Twitter.
Go, you know what, I'm going to vote with the Republicans also. It wouldn't encourage us to like make any of their concessions because we already had enough votes, and you're trying to get policies that are similar. Like, no, you're going to lose votes by trying to enact your policies.
Why are we assuming that if you don't vote or you vote third party, you're like secretly supporting the Republicans? I don't understand.
You're
Why is
not
that
voting
the
for
way
the
around?
Republicans.
Republicans.
It's not you-
Right?
I
How does that
wouldn't
even
say
work?
that you actually do support
I mean, if
the
I'm telling
Republicans. I would just say that it's like
wouldn't that
it's a
be
strategic
work in
thing.
favor of the Democrats?
Well, no, it wouldn't. But
Because I want
guess it
no one
depends
I want no one to vote. So I'm not trying to support any party like indirectly by telling people not to vote. So I don't understand why we're constantly saying, well, if you vote third party or you don't vote, then you're secretly in support of the Republicans. No, I don't want anyone to vote.
So
Hey,
my thing is,
I agree
my
with
thing
that
is-
because I actually do think parties need to earn their
No, why
votes.
do you
I
talk
agree.
about-
I hate people
My thing
vote
is, why-
shaming, so like
why
that's
am I-
cool. I'm
why
with
are you
on that
scaring
one.
me? Why are you scaring me from Republicans?
Shut up,
I think
stupid
Republicans are better than Democrats, to be honest with you. I think Republicans.
Democrats
Trump
are
himself.
far
Trump
better.
himself. Trump himself said, if I was in office, Ukraine wouldn't have happened. Trump himself,
Trump is an
he's
idiot.
not a
Why would you- why
Russophobe
would
like
you
you.
cite him for anything?
Look,
Oh,
wait a
and
minute, you're
the
an
Democrats are
idiot,
not
that's why.
changing your life in any way. You still lost Roe v. Wade. You still lost all the You still have record inflation. I mean,
We don't
how
have
is
record
being a
inflation
Republican
anymore.
bad? To me, it's better than being a Democrat, to be honest. At least
Yeah, if you
they're
wanna- yeah,
anti-FBI, they're
if you
anti-police
want
now.
to keep all the Muslims out of the United States, if you
No,
want
they're
to
not.
build a wall on the
They're
southern
not
border,
anti-FBI or police. They're
If you wanna be-
anti-FBI or police for them. For them, idiot.
Sansol, the problem is Obama.
Oh,
Obama started
Obama.
bombing Syria, so you can't really tell me anything bad about
And
the
then
Muslims.
Trump
Obama's the one that started
and then
bombing Syria.
Trump ramped
It doesn't
up
matter
all of
because
the-
Biden just
ramped
finished
up
it.
in Yemen.
Biden just finished the legacy of
Obama ramped
Obama,
up
and he started
Bush's
bombing
No.
again.
Oh, wait, hold on. Do you have evidence that Biden is doing more drone strikes than?
No,
than
the
Trump
evidence.
did?
Oh, so you're gonna bring me the
I
Hunter
think they
Avalon
are actually up a
argument?
little bit,
We have
Sondsol.
less
Watch
drone
it.
strikes. Do you understand the Democrats are starting a conflict in Taiwan with China and Taiwan? Do you
Whoa,
understand?
We
that?
already bombed stuff.
whoa,
Wait, hold on.
whoa,
Wait, I gotta do
whoa.
it again. Wait, hold on. I gotta do it again. Wait. I still don't hear any fucking bombs,
No, I'm
brother.
talking
Where
about
the
between
fuck is this
conflict between Taiwan and China. So yeah, Biden reduces the number of drone strikes, but he's killing Al Qaeda leaders with drones. He's
Hold on.
increasing the
AlManaraReport.
military conflict between tension between China and Taiwan.
Oh no, Biden
All I'm
killed
saying
an
is
Al-Qaeda
Democrats
guy.
are not the
Oh,
anti-war
oh,
party.
my heart-
Democrats are not
my
the
heart
anti-war.
bleeds for these terrorists. Jesus.
AlManaraReport, can you tell me
Chill,
who
don't say that.
Taiwan is? Can you tell me the group that occupies Taiwan and how it came to be?
Are you talking about the Democratic Party?
No, I'm asking like the group that occupies Taiwan and how the nation of Taiwan came to be. Can you tell me that?
You're talking about the 1947 history of Taiwan, the history of the
Yeah.
nation,
Can you
and the
tell me-
One
can you
China
tell me how
policy in
Taiwan came to be?
1971 and 1979. The One China policy. Is that what you're talking about?
Go back. Who are the Taiwanese? Where how did they become Taiwan?
So anyways, what does this have to do with the discussion?
I want to know if you know what you're talking about, you stupid
I know
fuck.
exactly what I'm talking about. The Taiwanese are separatists from China. They believe they're the true China, whereas the mainland believes it's the true China. They fought for wars over it. The Taiwan is the only way that China can get blockaded. We're talking about Navy sea level wise, so it's a very important location and it's basically the weak point of
just went,
China.
like way past. Like I wish I could hone in on like one topic, but like you're an idiot.
I mean,
but
what
you're-
did I
you're
say
totally
wrong?
secure that you can't.
I mean, what did I say wrong?
You're
What did I say that was wrong?
anything.
Can you say?
So
What did I say that was wrong?
You want to
So you
try
want
to
to
paint
go on,
broad
like,
strokes.
you want
Now
to,
you're
like,
trying to.
I mean, I don't know what do you want me to say then. What do you want me? I don't know what do you want me to say then. What do you want me to say? You want me to tell you the name of the guy? You want me to tell you the name of the guy? Was it Mao Zedong or?
No. I was. No.
You have a cursory overview. I'll give you that.
Thank
But,
you.
like, I was
And
trying
you're
to
high
actually
as fuck. I'll give
understand
you that.
If you knew what you were talking about, I'm high as fuck, and I'm still way smarter than you.
Listen, the only thing I'm trying to argue here is the Democrats are not going to save your life. Sansol, I get it.
Nobody said they were
because
gonna
you are
save your
because you are a
fucking
college
life.
educated because you're a college educated
Idiot.
person. I see that it made a difference. It did make a difference for me. This relief of debt for that. That's a great thing. That's a big reason why I might vote for Biden. All I'm saying is that Biden is not that much better than Republicans. Maybe even Republicans would have been less war hawkish. They would have maybe created less inflation. Yeah. They maybe would have had less corruption with Taiwan and Ukraine because the Democrats are fucking knee deep in corruption. Nancy Pelosi with Taiwan, Biden with Ukraine. Holy shit!
I was there last week. You don't know what you're talking about. I am so tired of idiots.
Guys, go ahead and follow everybody.
Tell you're a Jimmy Dore fan, dude. You should broaden your horizon.
I can tell you're
How
a
is
Jimmy Dore
Nancy
hater.
Pelosi? How is Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan corruption?
All right.
That was
Well,
out in
wait.
the open.
Before we go into Taiwan, I
did
kind
say
of.
that was like a red line, right? Like if you cross this line, then we consider it an act of like war.
Right.
It's weird
Politicians
because
there all the time.
Listen.
Yeah, we have politicians that go there all the time. They
Hold
made a
on
big
a
stink out over it this time, but like
Could we
we've
just
had
have some
politicians going there for decades, like all the fucking
For
time.
God's sakes.
It's not
Okay,
a
can we all
surprise.
agree nobody likes Nancy Pelosi?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
so,
we should
Likable, but like her policies
but just
aren't, like,
generally.
necessarily the absolute worst. Yeah,
It's
she's
okay.
not like very likable like Hillary.
Right.
Can we agree?
I'm pretty sure all baby boomers should retire.
There we go.
No more
Most
geriatrics.
Gen Xers should probably retire at this point.
Justin, we don't agree on a lot politically, but I agree with that. So look, guys.
We don't? Really?
Yeah, no. But we've been at this for about 2 hours, by my gauge, more or less.
I'm ready to
So
go.
why don't we do some? And Nikki, you didn't even get to answer the last question, but maybe you can.
What was the last question?
It was. Are you going to vote for? I already know what you're going to say, but are you going to vote for Biden in 2024?
I was the first person to say no. You weren't
were you?
listening.
Oh.
Such a man.
Oh, you know what?
Such a
I mean,
man.
it's been so clear. It's been so clear this whole night who's talking. How could I get confused? But yeah, so why don't we go into closing statements, and we'll start with somebody online, and we'll do the clockwise sort of fashion here. So somebody online, closing statements. Floor is yours, my friend.
Man, oh man, non-smoker, I really do, again, appreciate you inviting me to your panel. This has been an exciting and exhilarating experience. I've enjoyed every moment of it. I didn't think that we were going to get nearly as much traction out of these topics as we did. I heard them original, and I was all like, wow, okay, I guess so, but it's been a relatively good one. I think that a lot of people are speculating a little bit too much into 2024. I think that we all need to slow our roll a little bit and see what actually shakes out between now and then. And everybody in general just needs to calm down constantly. But that's what I'm always frickin' saying on my channel. We need to achieve a more Bohmian dialogue. I suggest everybody look up a Bohm dialogue. While you're at it, look up the word polysemy. It's extremely important, all right? Once you guys figure out these couple of very simple topics, you guys are going to calm down immensely. And then you're going to be able to have a more rational conversation with the people around you and hopefully reach a mutual understanding. But I'm not holding out for anything. Again, I'm SomeBuddyOnline. Come and check me out on Twitch if you need help with that. Come and check it out on YouTube if you want to see any old content. And see the Twitter, SomeDummyOnline, if you want to see the dumb things I say on there.
All right, SomeBuddyOnline advocating for a calmer discourse. Manara, go ahead. Closing statement.
All right, guys. Hey, non-smoker, thank you so much. Appreciate this. Guys, this has been a great opportunity for me. Justin, I know you're an unserious person. I realize you're very unserious in this discussion, but that's fine. Sondsol, I really appreciate you. I believe you are a serious person. I just think you're a little bit misguided. I think you read news articles and you believe them immediately. For example, you'll read that Biden reduced the number of drone strikes, and you immediately interpret that he maybe is doing less war, but that's not necessarily true. And I do believe that we need a way to pressure these Democrats. If you are going to vote for Democrat, if you are going to force me to vote for Democrat, next time you do argue to vote for a Democrat, I think you should give me a good argument to how are we going to pressure them to get our concessions to do what we want. Because other than that, all I've seen is they have just fallen on the sword every single time. They've given Joe Manchin everything he wanted just to get the little bits of pieces of crumbs that we got. And so that would be good. So I take you seriously, Sondsol. I don't take Justin at all seriously. And somebody online, I think he's just he's a real Trump voter, just hiding. I don't know. But anyways, appreciate this discussion. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, AlManaraReport. Check me out. I'm doing content. We stream daily. I love this discussion, and I like to learn, and I love showing the truth. I love, talking about these discussions. And actually, is Biden really reducing the drone strikes, and that is equal to less war? Is he really? Let's talk about it.
Okay, thank you, Manara. Manara, seems to appreciate everybody's contributions except for Justin's. And Justin, would you please give us your closing remarks?
I mean, I do a show with a troll head, so you've got to wonder, am I trolling? Somebody, I'm going to add you just as soon as I get off of my Twitter timeout. The plea that I'm going to leave you guys with is that you absolutely...
Justin, sorry to interrupt. I just want to be clear on if anybody's watching in my channel, or if you're not, if you were kind of, or whatever. I posted follow links for all of you guys and a poll. There's a link for a poll as to who we think won. So, sorry to cut you off, Justin. Go ahead.
Oh, somebody won. Somebody won this.
My cat won.
Undefeatable.
My cat absolutely won this debate. You guys all got wrecked.
Justin,
and then Cat.
Justin, please go ahead.
My plea to you guys is to indeed vote Democrat up and down the ballot, do community action, get involved, protest. It's like voting is not going to solve everything, and I hate it when people make these arguments like, "Oh, the Democrats aren't going to save your life." Blah, blah, blah. That's a stupid argument. Nobody expects them to save your life. You're also not voting for Joe Manchin. You're voting for Cori Bush. You're voting for Pramila Jayapal. You're voting for Rashida Tlaib, AOC. There's a bunch more that I can't. Jamal Bowman is fucking excellent. I can't wait to have Fetterman in the Senate. Like, there are a million good Democrats out there, and you can get behind them, go support them. And if you feel passionately about starting a third party, I encourage you to do that. I want you to do that. But you have to start at the local level. You can't start at the presidential level. Anybody trying to start a third party at the presidential level is a grift, hands down. And I will tell you that Democrats in my lifetime, have presided over record GDP growth, and every single one has cut the deficit. One of them being the only president to balance the budget in the last fucking century. Every Republican has presided over an economic crash. There's no comparison. And then when you talk about corruption, look up criminal indictments by presidential administration and see that like the Democrats are this small and the Republicans are this big. Like there's no comparison between the parties. So you should absolutely support the Democrats because you really have no other choice. It's harm reduction and it's strategic. But I encourage you, please go start a third. I want a third party to vote for. But just stop living in a fantasy world about fucking Jimmy Dore getting 10% of the vote. That's the most ignorant goddamn thing I've ever heard. Thank you. I'm Justin.
Are you going to give it to the forward party? Sorry, are you going to give it to the forward party instead of Jimmy Dore?
I'll come all over the forward party's face.
All right. Well,
I'll give him a cream pie.
Nobody wants.
I'll fuck him in the ass. What do you want me to do to him, huh?
Nobody wants to come in the face. All right. So, Nikki, please go ahead.
Come on.
I mean, I do sometimes.
Well, different panel.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the panel. I don't really do panels because I don't know. I just rather watch it. It was fun to watch actually. So I will be here in the chat whenever you have a panel. If I'm free, I want to watch this shit. Thank you. That's it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Pleasure meeting you, Nikki.
My turn.
Nice to meet you too. Sorry.
All right. Hey, I had fun taking jabs at everyone. I thought it was fun. I'm not very good at panels either, but practice makes perfect. So maybe I'll get better. But yeah,
you did great.
You can't. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean,
doing good. I just don't do it.
I'm doing my statement, Nikki. Stop interrupting.
I'm sorry. I need to interrupt you.
But yeah, so I mean, my message is the Republicans and Democrats don't care about you, so you should do what you can to piss them off. And what they really hate is when you don't.
Not about caring.
So,
all right, let him finish.
Stop giving them what they want and make them cry and suffer and beg for your vote because that's more fun.
Alrighty.
I think that's a bad idea.
RollinRa, thank you. Wants suffering if necessary. And Schlatski, go ahead, please.
Well, I'm not voting for Joe Biden because he lied to me. He said that they were going to hand out $2,000 worth of relief for us for the pandemic, and they cut us short even on that minuscule amount, and that was very terrible and awful to do. I didn't support AOC for her to go ahead and allow Nancy Pelosi to retain her position with zero opposition whatsoever, without a single concession. She said that we had to fight for things that were more reasonable, more possible, stuff like $15 an hour minimum wage. I don't see that anywhere. It's not even on the table. Anyway, so they're just a bunch of liars, and I'm done voting for people who are liars. That doesn't make me a Republican. I'm voting for people that align with my interests.
All right, Schlatski, always concise, and last but not least, Sondsol.
This was a fun panel. I'm sorry I probably yelled over every single person at some point or another. I get energetic when things start getting aggressive.
I wish you'd let me have a little more fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I disagree with something that someone said, or at least one thing that every single person here said at some point or another. If anybody wants to talk to me,
I take back what I said about your hair then.
And I like having conversations. I think it's really important for us to have these conversations. I think that a lot of the people here, they have their heart in the right place. But at the end of the day, you have to look at what is strategic. You have to look at what is, actually going to add value into the world. And I think that the way I look at things is the best way to do that. If anybody wants to find me, you can find me on Sondsol on literally everything, SONDSOL. I like talking to people, chatters, streamers, everybody, so come through.
All right, thank you, Sondsol. And, all of you guys, I appreciate your time. This went exactly how I hoped it would have went. I wouldn't have had it any other way. So I really appreciate it. And again, in my chat, I'm pretty much spamming this poll here, as well as follow links for everybody on the panel. I would tweet it out. I might tweet it out, but I don't have much of a Twitter following anyway. So, but yeah, I encourage everybody to vote in the poll. And I also encourage everybody, at least pop and give everybody a follow, just a token follow, see what they're all about. Give everybody a chance. It's worth at least hearing someone out. Even if you think they're a total idiot, and you could just unfollow them. That's that.
I take open calls and comments every night. You can hop in the Discord. You can call in. I love to argue.
It's also worth mentioning that I have zero Twitch clout of any kind. So everybody here who came is obviously open to conversation because all I really had to do was DM them. So that really does kind of show evidence that everybody here is pretty open to discussion, so you should take advantage and do so. And with that, guys, I am going to close this, and I'm probably going to call it a night on my stream as well, at least soon anyway. But it was
good night. Love everybody.
Good
talking. No after party?
Thank you.
If y'all want to come through on my stream, y'all are more than welcome to. But
yeah, I'll probably hang out for a little bit too, if anybody wants to drop by and have a little chit-chat.
Well, there you go.
I'll be.
Yo, guys, stop by. Stop by.
I don't want to I don't. He's trying to end the panel. I love you guys, but let him in his path.
Yes, thank you. All right. Can't wait for school to start. It's just like this. All right, everybody, have a good night, and we'll talk hopefully again soon.